San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Tuesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Good to be with all of you. Finally got the hot stove starting to heat back up a little bit, huh? Got some moves being made in the National League West. Good news, bad news. I don't necessarily know it's either of those things, but it is important news for the San Diego Padres. Important news in Major League Baseball. The Arizona Diamondbacks have found a new infielder as they have traded for Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado and the Cardinals entered this offseason looking to make concessions to ensure that a trade went through. They tried to do the same thing last year. Both parties, he had a full no-trade clause. He wanted to find a place that was, we heard rumors about being closer to home. He's from Southern California, went to El Toro High School. Everybody thought the Angels might grab him. But Cardinals are trying to cut payroll. Diamondbacks trying to add some veteran presence. Overall, pretty good deal for both sides as the Arizona Diamondbacks have now acquired Nolan Arenado. Now, Arenado, according to Katie Wu, who had this first, Jeff Passan reporting on it after the fact that Arenado is expected to waive his full no-trade clause to join Arizona. Multiple sources have said news on the potential deal was written in The Athletic. Ken Rosenthal jumped on this as well, putting out that the Cardinals are paying $31 million of Arenado's remaining $42 million, as Nick Picoro said, who covers the Diamondbacks, and we have had him on the show multiple times. So, right-handed pitcher in Jack Martinez, who was an 8th-round pick last year in last year's MLB draft, out of Arizona State, is going to the Cardinals. Cardinals are sending Nolan Arenado in cash to the Arizona Diamondbacks. As I look at this deal from both perspectives, I think it's a pretty good deal for both teams. You look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, we'll talk about them in a second, but from a Cardinals perspective, they're trying to cut payroll. They had 2 guys on their books that needed to get cut payroll-wise. They needed to be traded elsewhere. They have now successfully traded both of those players away. You look back at what was the St. Louis Cardinals and their payroll from just a season ago, and the money that they were spending, which wasn't a lot, was mostly going to Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras. They have previously traded Wilson Contreras. That knocked $17.7 million off their books, and now they have sent away Nolan Arenado, which has chopped off $30.5 million off their books. And you looked at, those are the only 2 players going the offseason for the Cardinals that were under contract, that were paid these guaranteed contracts, these big contracts, 2 highest paid players. Now, your highest paid player on the Cardinals is Dustin May on basically a 1-year deal because there's a mutual option for 2027. Dustin May making $12.5. I would not be surprised if Dustin May is on a different team post-deadline if he does very well. The other highest paid player that's on this contract, that are on these contracts, is Ryan Stenek. Ryan Stanek's making $3.5 million. The overall payroll for the St. Louis Cardinals is now down to $104 million. They went young. They got a lot of young players that are in arbitration. They got a lot of young players that are under control for a long period of time. I would not be surprised if the Cardinals decide at the conclusion of the 2026 season, when the collective bargaining agreement is over, to finally start building their roster back up, surrounded by guys like Nolan Gorman and Matthew Liberatore and Alec Burleson and Lars Nootbaar and Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker. All of these players that are under control until at least 2029, Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar in 2028. So the St. Louis Cardinals, I think, got exactly what they wanted out of this. They got a young, controllable arm that they obviously liked. They shedded some payroll. They just still have to pay $31 million to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And now from the Diamondback perspective, I like this deal for the Diamondbacks as well, in a sense that they got to pivot. They now pivoted from the fact that they were thinking about trying to get Alex Bregman. They were thinking about trying to make a move. They decided to keep Ketel Marte, right, to try to move on to Alex Bregman, to pair him with Ketel Marte. Bregman signs over the weekend with the Chicago Cubs. Diamondbacks pivot to pick up Nolan Arenado. And if you're the Diamondbacks, he's only, according to Fangraphs, and now this might change, he's only accounting for $21 million towards the AAV. It would have cost you $35 million a year with Alex Bregman. Yes, Alex Bregman is younger. Yes, Alex Bregman's a better player than Arenado, but you get to bring in a veteran presence, and you only have to pay him for 2 years, and then he's a free agent. So the Diamondbacks improved their team. They didn't have to do it very costly. They are taking a little bit of a risk here, but the fact that they're taking on some payroll, they only had to give up one prospect in terms of an arm. So if you look at the Diamondbacks, I think it's a pretty solid move for Arizona. I think it's a solid move for the Cardinals. This could be a win-win move for both teams. I don't mind it for either team. Now, from a Padres perspective, Arenado makes the Diamondbacks better, but does he make them that much better? Are you afraid of Nolan Arenado in 2026 in the Big 2-6? You afraid of Arenado in the Big 2-6? I'm not that afraid of Arenado in the Big 2-6. I mean, the Diamondbacks have been a pain in the Padres' side for a long time. And so I'm sure he'll hit a couple home runs against the Padres in certain aspects. But you know what? It's not, I don't think it's that crazy of a move in terms of like looking at it from a rival perspective. For the Diamondbacks, they got slightly better. For the Cardinals, they shedded the payroll that they needed to shed. And what that tells me about the Cardinals is I would not be surprised if they decide to trade Destin May at the end or near the trade deadline. Because it looks like it's let's cut this thing down to the studs. Let's try to go to a younger group of players. And so both teams, I think, accomplished what they were looking for as we start to look at this trade and what a big trade it was here in the offseason between the Arizona Diamondbacks and now the St. Louis Cardinals. Nolan Arenado, a new member of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here's the report from ESPN.com's Jeff Passan. Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired 8-time All-Star third baseman Nolan Arenado in a trade with St. Louis. It was announced Tuesday. In return, the Cardinals are getting right-hander Jack Martinez, an eighth-round selection in last year's draft at Arizona State. Arenado, who's 34, agreed to waive his no-trade clause to complete the deal. He battled injuries last season while hitting .237 with 12 home runs and a career-low .289 on-base percentage in 107 games with the Cardinals. 10-time Gold Glove winner, has 2 years left on a 9-year, $275 million contract that he originally signed with the Rockies before the 2019 season. Is he got a lot of juice left? I don't think so. Is he going to help the Diamondbacks a little bit? He could. And to be honest with you, it's not a huge risk for the Diamondbacks. It is a risk, but not a huge risk. I don't mind this move for either team, Frank.
No, it's a solid move. Both teams kind of get what they want. Arizona gets their third baseman, and St. Louis gets to shed some payroll. They're not too much because they are going to be paying for some of the contract, but they get a lot of money off the books. And again, Arizona gets a third baseman. I don't think it's the third baseman. It's Arenado's another one of those guys that, yeah, I would have loved to have had him 5 years ago. But I mean, solid move for both teams. It accomplishes the goals that both teams were looking for, and we'll see how it works now for Arizona this year.
Yeah, I don't mind the move for either team. But like now when you view it from a rival perspective, right? Because we would be the rival perspective here in San Diego. It's good for them. But it's not like oh crap, the Arizona Diamondbacks got a heck of a lot better. I still think there's risk involved. I still think you're really taking a chance on him potentially getting back to what he was. He's never going to be what he was in Colorado.
No.
He'll make some good plays at third base. He's a good defensive third baseman. In the National League West with the high altitude ballparks, he'll probably do a lot better than he did in the National League Central, playing in those big ballparks in San Francisco and in Los Angeles and all these other where there's gaps galore. I think it's going to work out for him a little bit. I think his average will probably tick up. He'll probably have a little bit better. He'll have a way better year than he did last year, but he's not hitting 20 home runs. If he does, I'd be shocked. He hit 12 home runs last year. If he could stay healthy, it's a solid ad for the Diamondbacks. They give up one prospect for it, and it's not. He doesn't cost them a ton of money in the grand scheme of things. Payroll now for the Diamondbacks is at $170 million.
It's an average player now with a big name. That's really what it is. Right now, you're paying for, and we're kind of seeing it here, even as we're talking about it. It's the name of Nolan Arenado that's supposed to scare you. But if you look at what he's done over the last couple of years, he's definitely starting to show his age. His bat's not there. His bat is not as good anymore. His range isn't quite there anymore defensively. He's an average. He's just another third baseman now, but he carries the name Nolan Arenado.
He also, though, is paired with a lot of players that are good.
Yes.
I think that helps him.
Absolutely.
He's paired down. You add him to a lineup that has Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo. I mean, these are solid players for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They got a decent rotation. They got Merrill Kelly. They got Corbin Burns at some point next year after he comes off an injury. Guys like Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, they have good players with the Diamondbacks. I think if you were bringing him in to be the guy, you're in trouble.
Yes.
But he, as a solid addition,
locker room leader.
Yeah, but he is a little side piece here for the Diamondbacks. He's one that's going to help the rest of the roster, I think, in the long term in the next 2 years. And even though he didn't put up really good numbers last year, he was hurt a lot. It was probably his worst year. I think it was his worst year of his career. When you pair him with a lot better players, and he doesn't have to be the guy like he was in St. Louis. He would have to be the guy in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the young guys around him, he had to be the guy. Now he's just another piece. You could do a lot worse than having Nolan Arenado bat in the middle to bottom part of your order.
Oh, 100%. And you could also say it's possibly a move to try to rein Ketel Marte in a little bit more, allow Nolan Arenado to focus and try to make Ketel Marte a little bit more of a pro with all of the off the field issues that we heard about with Marte last year. I think this is a move that if you're going to make it, your focus has to be this being an off the field move more than it being an on the field move at this point in Arenado's career.
I think it's a decent move for both teams. I think both teams are in a really good spot. That's not the only trade rumors that we got that's the trade that happened. Mm-hmm. And that happened like that. I mean, they already announced it the Cardinals already announced it officially as it being done and done. The other one that we got this morning that I thought we were going to talk about a little bit more today as we got into our 11 o'clock spot. This is what happens when you build shows the day before. Everything gets thrown off in the 9 o'clock hour when you get a bunch of breaking news. The other news, too, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this before we dive into the rest of the show that we got today. We're going to talk about the Steelers game last night against the Texans. Houston just dominated that game. Looked a little shaky at the beginning. We saw what Houston could be with the defense. We also saw what they could be with the offense being a problem. And we'll talk about that game and what's the aftermath is now for Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will talk about that development down in Chula Vista a little bit. I know everybody loves renderings in this town, but now all of a sudden in that discussion, it was supposed to be, here's a tennis center, and here's the Tiger Woods pop whatever that he does, and then here's the water polo facility, and then, then we're going to build on the side, here's a 50,000-seat stadium. Excuse me? Well, now, after that, in the latest report from Jennifer Van Grove, It's now like, oh, here's a tennis center and a water polo facility and the pop, whatever it's called, but Tiger Woods. And here's an 80,000 seat stadium that we might build.
But don't pay attention to that because the water polo stadium is going to look awesome.
Yeah. 80,000 seat stadium. We're just going to build over here. What does that mean? We're going to talk about that later on in the noon hour. I think it's very fitting that news came out yesterday on the 9-year anniversary of the Chargers leaving on a day that we talked about it the entire day. Just all of a sudden pops up. I find it interesting. I might find some conspiracies in this, but you know what? We'll talk about that at noon. We got other hot stove stuff we want to get to as well. We'll talk about college football and what has been a crazy, yet also disastrous last couple of weeks for college football in terms of just the overall narrative. They got to fix the schedule for this place. But the other news that we got that I find interesting is the Giants are aggressively pursuing a second baseman and have engaged with Chicago on Nico Horner and on St. Louis on Brendan Donovan. And infield of Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Donovan or Horner, and Rafael Devers would be among MLB's best. That was from Jeff Passan this morning. What you're getting right now, this is the Dodger effect. The Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Team to beat. They spend a ton of money. They've won 2 World Series in a row. And what happens? It starts to raise the level of everybody in their division. The Padres jumped on that early. They've been raising the level of competition for the last couple of years. They've been making the wild cards. They've made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. But now it's the Diamondbacks and it's the Giants that are fed up of not making the playoffs, fed up of not being able to win a division just like the Padres, and they're starting to make some moves and they're starting to spend some money. Now, the Diamondbacks have made the moves and they have spent money. They have not spent as much money as the Padres have. Nowhere even close to where the Dodgers are at, but they have actually spent the money. The Giants, the San Francisco Giants keep talking about it. They keep talking about it.
I mean, you can make the case. They spent the money to trade for Rafael Devers. They spent the money on Matt Chapman. They spent the money on Willie Adames. So they have spent some.
They haven't spent as much as they flaunt.
Agreed.
We're the San Francisco Giants. We have all this money that we're going to spend. Then every offseason, it's like, oh, yeah, here's Willie Adames. Nice. Oh, here's the trade deadline. We traded for Rafael Devers. But they were like, it was like, we're talking about guys like Arson Fudge, players that they wanted. They've still got some solid players. I think they overpaid for probably the players that they acquired, but they keep talking about it and they don't do it. We'll see if they can make a trade here. I want to talk a little bit more about the Giants and what they're doing now. And you know what? Arizona might have lit a fire under the Giants' behinds with the move that they made today. We'll talk about that when we come back as the National League West hot stove starts to heat up on the Braden Surprenant Show, Settings Number Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All guests at 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future. Win charge of the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. All right, Diamondbacks made a move this morning, just moments ago, and they are acquiring 8-time All-Star third baseman Nolan Arenado in a trade with the St. Louis Cardinals. Arenado has agreed to waive his no-trade clause, and the deal is done. Katie Wu had this first. Jeff Passan then reported on it after the fact. In exchange, the Cardinals are getting right-hander Jack Martinez, an 8th-round selection in last year's draft at Arizona State. Arenado agreed to waive his no-trade, as mentioned before, to complete the deal. The Cardinals are sending $31 million to the Diamondbacks in part of this deal, so they save some money on this contract. They get money off the books. They don't have to worry about Arenado anymore. They can focus on being young. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks, it's their consolation prize for what was a limited pursuit or questions about potentially acquiring Alex Bregman via free agency. Cubs sign Bregman, Diamondbacks pivot, they go pick up Nolan Arenado. It's a decent move for Arizona. But I think when you start looking at the other division rival in the Padres division, the San Francisco Giants, their threat right now, and I call it a threat because Jeff Passan tweeted this out 2 hours ago, that the Giants are aggressively pursuing a second baseman and have been engaged with the Cubs on Nico Horner or the Cardinals on Brendan Donovan. An infield of Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Donovan or Horner, and Rafael Devers would be among Major League Baseball's best. That, to me, is more threatening to the Padres than the Arizona Diamondbacks bringing in Arenado. These are players that are younger, more controllable, right? Less injury prone, although Matt Chapman missed some time last year. And I think just better players overall than what you have with Geraldo Perdomo, who is young. He's a good defensive player, decent hitting, shortstop, solid player for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte, who is an all-star, but the problem with Ketel Marte is he's constantly hurt. And then Nolan Arenado. The Giants, to me, would be a lot more of a threat to what is a second-place finish for the Padres than the Arizona Diamondbacks would be. The pitching for the Giants is not bad. They'd have a pretty solid team, but if you look at a guy like Nico Horner, who just gave the Padres fits in the playoffs, I look at this potential threat as being scarier to the Padres, Frank, than the Arizona Diamondbacks, Braden and Arenado.
I would agree with that. You're looking at younger players that rounds out a very, very good, very impactful infield for San Francisco, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Other infields that are just as good. But San Francisco is kind of in that spot where you need to prove it. Like, yeah, I defended them saying, yeah, they spent the money on Chapman. They knew the money that was coming in when they traded for Rafael Devers. They're kind of in a prove it mode for me right now, though. They got to prove that they're going to go out and make a deal like this. And then, yeah, I'll take them a little bit more seriously. But right now, I'm just seeing it as a lot of talk from San Francisco, honestly.
I'm seeing it as that too, but at the same time, like, if you start thinking about it, it's a to me that'd be a better lineup. That'd be a better infield. Sure. I mean, you add that with the outfield pieces that they already have. I mean, this would be a very good team.
So would bringing in Aaron Judge.
Yes, that would have been better for them at this point in time. But like you said, and like I've said, it's a lot of talk always from the Giants, but not a lot of action. I know they got Willie Adames last year, right? And I know they've spent the money on Matt Chapman, and they traded for Rafael Devers. I mean, they've made some moves, but they had Nico Horner or Brendan Donovan. I mean, that makes that team a little bit more concerning. Hold your thought, because we do got to get to break. I do want to talk about this more and compare some of the infields in the National League West. I mean, you look at the infields in the National League West. If the Giants are able to add Nico Horner, you're going to have a lot of tough teams in the NL West, and then there's the Rockies.
I was just going to say, then there's the Rockies.
We'll talk about these moves and potential move that impact the National League West when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 10:34. We're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We have had some hot stove news with some moves in the National League West. Arizona Diamondbacks have a new third baseman in Nolan Arenado. Traded for him with the St. Louis Cardinals. And the other news was some of the rumors that we have seen with the San Francisco Giants, and the Giants potentially being interested in trading for Nico Horner or Brendan Donovan. Now, I think both of those players would be an addition to the San Francisco Giants. And as you look at how the National League West starts to shape up in terms of a infield, the Giants, if they're able to pull off one of those moves, would be able to have a pretty legit infield. Rafael Devers at first base at 29 years old. Willie Adames is your shortstop at age 30. Matt Chapman at third base at age 32. Add a Nico Horner. Add a Brendan Donovan. And you are really starting to cook if you're the San Francisco Giants. I think the move for the Diamondbacks is fair. I don't think it's a phenomenal move. I think it's a good move, solid move for Arizona. But the move to me that is scarier would be the addition of Nico Horner to the Giants or Brendan Donovan to the Giants. Nico Horner's 28 years. He's going to be 28 years old in this next baseball season. He will turn 29 the year after, obviously. So he's 28 in 2026. He's a free agent in 2027. You'd get 1 year out of Nico Horner unless you give him a contract extension if you're San Francisco, which is possible. They could potentially do that. Nico Horner's kind of the odd man out, one of the odd men out in Chicago after the addition of Alex Bregman. And so that makes a lot of sense. Now, for the St. Louis Cardinals, who have already made a couple of moves in shedding payroll, I think the question is, is Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar part of the St. Louis Cardinals' successful equation? Because Brendan Donovan's a free agent in 2028. And Lars Nootbaar is a free agent in 2028. Guys like Andre Palante and Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore, like those are guys that are under control until 2029 and 2030. You can be successful with those guys on the club. But the question of competing is, how long do you hang on to Brendan Donovan or Lars Nootbaar as they're in the prime of their careers at age 29 and 28? And are they guys that are going to be on your team when you're competitive? Or are you going to be competitive after they are no longer on your team, in which so you now trade them while you have the value in trading them? The more I look at it, the more I feel like Brendan Donovan is more of a fit for the San Francisco Giants than Nico Horner is. Nico Horner's a good player. I think Nico Horner gave the Padres some problems during the playoffs. But you look at a guy like Brendan Donovan, who's probably one of the Cardinals' best players, being added to that team with San Francisco, that's a pretty solid infield for the Giants. And you would have 2 years of him. He's getting $5.8 million as he settled his contract before arbitration. He's arbitration eligible next year, becomes a free agent in 2028. You can make a decision on that, or maybe you buy him out of his last year of arbitration, give him a 2 or 3 year deal as he's a member of the San Francisco Giants. But I look at the Giants roster, the threat of them potentially doing that scares me more than anything that Arenado brings the Arizona Diamondbacks. But you look at the infields, Frank. The infields in the National League West are really good, and then there's the Rockies.
Yeah, and then there's the Rockies. I would be more concerned. I feel more threatened by San Francisco if they got Brendan Donovan, because you get 2 years of him. Horner's done after a year, and with the contract that Horner's probably going to look for, I don't see why San Francisco would re-up him as their second baseman. So it's kind of a, like we were saying with Kyle Tucker, if he went to the Dodgers, it was most likely going to be a 1 year thing. It's threatening, but it's only for 1 year. Donovan, I see being a little bit more of a longer term player. He really fits San Francisco's vibe. Like, when you think of, I always picture him as Crawford, Brendan Crawford, I believe.
Yeah, when he was with the Giants.
Yeah, I picture them as being very, very similar. So I would be more threatened if Donovan found his way there, which is a very real possibility. And you're looking at Lars Nootbaar as well. He's also in ARB 2. Jojo Romero's in ARB 3 right now. Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, those guys are in ARB 1. So they have some guys that they can trade that can make other teams very, very scary for teams in their division.
Yeah, we haven't even looked at the Dodgers, right? Obviously, they always have a loaded infield anyway, and that's always circling and a constant like change of what they decide to do with everybody. I mean, who's going to play first base for the Diamondbacks this year? Do we know?
Let me see their roster here.
I mean, because the guys that played it last year are no longer on the team, but
I'd probably give you an educated guess.
you had to go with you'd have to it's a massive guess. I mean, they usually just put like whoever there at this point. Pavin Smith got to be the starting first baseman for the Diamondbacks.
They have
who they have listed on their website.
Tim Tawa, which okay. Pavin Smith and Tyler Locklear are listed as the 3 first basemen on the Diamondbacks website in the depth chart.
Tyler Locklear is the young player. He's at 24 years old. He had a negative 1.1 WAR last year, played in 31 games, had a 175 batting average and a 48 OPS plus.
He was born in 2000. You're a jerk.
Yeah, that's kind of how that works. And then Pavin Smith, 29-year-old DH. He had a 0.4 WAR last year, 258 batting average. He was one of those young, up-and-coming Diamondbacks prospects that everybody talked about. You said Tim Tawa, too?
Yes.
Utility player for the Diamondbacks, 26 years old, 0.5 WAR, 201 batting average, 620 OPS last year. It's probably going to be Pavin Smith.
200 at bats, too. So, I mean, it's not like he had a full season up.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, they have a major question mark at first base, just like the Padres kind of have a question mark at first base. I mean, at this point, Gavin Sheets is the first baseman right now. Unless you think Song's going to start at second, you move Jake Cronenworth to first, but I don't know about. I mean, Song's kind of earned his time with the Padres, right?
Yeah, and that's not saying he's not good enough. It's that he needs to earn his time within U.S. baseball because it is
correct.
Different.
He's got to flip to Major League Baseball here in the United States.
And I haven't seen, but I don't know. Ha-Seong Kim, we thought was great. He struggled his first year on offense.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it took him a couple years to really be a high contributor for the San Diego Padres. But you start looking at the rosters for these teams in the National League. And they're pretty solid across the board when it comes to the infields right now in Major League Baseball, with the potential that the San Francisco Giants improve at second base. I mean, I put all of them on there except for, basically LA, but we all know LA is usually got the most money, so it doesn't really matter. But you got some solid teams coming out of the National League West, and that's going to be, as much as it's a fight for a lot of these teams to make to make wild card spots, it made it a little bit more tougher for the Padres today with the Diamondbacks adding a piece, and with the Giants thinking about it. Now, until the Giants actually do it, it's one thing. But if they do end up getting a second baseman, I think you're going to see multiple teams out of the National League West outside of the division winner make the wild card this year.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're going to get, it's only going to be 2. I don't see Milwaukee being as good as they were last year. I think you're going to get 2 from the East, 2 from the West, and 1 from the Central. I think that would be the way that this year breaks down. So you really have to be one of the top teams. You have to be nipping at the Dodgers' heels all season long to keep up. If you want to be in a playoff fight, you're not going to be able to back your way into the playoffs this year. The teams you're just not that good. The field is too deep.
I look at the infield now with adding the thing with the Dodgers, and I know they've won the last 2 World Series, they continue to they're very old. They're getting old, right? Guys like Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Max Muncy is getting old in Major League Baseball. Like, Max Muncy is supposed to be the starting third baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, he has trajectory going a little bit lower. He's 35 years old. He's owed $10 million. This is the last year of his contract. I would not be shocked if Max Muncy is not on the team at the end of the year for the Dodgers. But I put on the sheet. I mean, I put the 4 division teams. I mean, you could put the Rockies on there, but nobody's going to have any idea who any of those players are. But those are the infields in the National League West. If the Giants add Brendan Donovan, they probably have the best infield in the National League West. I'd take that infield over the Dodgers infield right now. Max Muncy is just not what he was. Mookie Betts, you like having on the team, but I'd rather have him be in the outfield than play shortstop. I think it's hard to say. I think the Giants infield more.
I would say it's either the Giants or the Padres infield to begin with, but I think that if you do add Brendan Donovan or if you do add a Nico Horner, I would say, yeah, I think the Giants would easily have the best.
I think the Giants would have the best infield for sure in the National League West. I think the Padres is close to the top. You got to figure out where you're at.
I would say it's second.
Baseman.
I think Sheets brings it down.
I think so too, for sure. I think it's second behind the Giants, especially if they had Brendan Donovan or a Nico Horner. I think it's better. I think the Diamondbacks are fourth out of the group, and they got Arenado, Perdomo, Marte, and Pavin Smith across the board. Pavin Smith kind of hurts them.
I'd put them third over the Dodgers, honestly, because we saw the decline.
I'd take the Dodgers over Diamondbacks. I mean, Arenado's got the edge over Muncy, but I think Betts is still an overall better player.
Think Ketel Marte is better than Tommy Edman? Or you think Tommy Edman's better than Ketel Marte?
Yeah, he posts. Ketel never plays. I mean, if you don't play, it's hard to say. If Ketel Marte makes it the entire year, he's better than Tommy Edman. But Tommy Edman plays every day. I know he was hurt last year. Tommy Edman, he's a solid second baseman, a solid player for the Dodgers. Ketel Marte, I think, is a stud player, but he's got hamstring injuries all the time. All the time. And then Freddie Freeman's better than Pavin Smith, obviously.
100%.
I mean,
that's
the Dodgers infield is getting older, but it's hard to argue that Geraldo Perdomo's better than Mookie Betts in any type of fashion. Is he a better defensive shortstop than Mookie? Probably. I don't think a lot of people would argue against that. He's a better defensive shortstop than Mookie Betts. But Mookie Betts overall as a player, I'd rather have Mookie Betts than Geraldo Perdomo 10 out of 10 times. And Perdomo's young. He's a good player. He's under contract for a long period of time for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, I think didn't he make an All-Star game recently? Maybe he did.
Perdomo?
Maybe he was close. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I believe it was this past season.
I thought he did. Year. And he's only costing the team $11.2 million towards the AAV. So that's not bad. But I look at the infields. The Padres got a pretty good infield still, with everything considered.
Oh, for sure.
So with all the money, they're old, they got to make all these changes and all this other stuff. I mean, they got a pretty good team on paper. And again, you look at the Dodgers infield. I don't think the Dodgers infield's better than the Padres. I don't think it's better than the Giants. I think it's got a slight edge over the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the only reason we're having this conversation, obviously, is the Giants threatening to potentially go get a Brendan Donovan or a Nico Horner. Now, compare the two. It's one thing to want those players, but it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
What team is more likely to give up a player? To me, it's the Cubs with Nico Horner than it is for the Cardinals and Brendan Donovan. Do you think with the Cardinals? Let me ask you this question. I have an answer to it, but let me ask you this question. Based on what the Cardinals have done this offseason, based on how much money they are spending on their team, right? The Cardinals, and just for a refresher, the Cardinals had 2 players that had guaranteed salaries going into the offseason. It was Wilson Contreras and it was Nolan Arenado. Both of them making good money. They shipped off both of those players and ate money to get them off the team. Their only 2 players that have guaranteed salaries are Dustin May, who they signed this year for $12.5 million, and Ryan Stanek, who's 34 years old.
They just signed.
And they just signed him on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. That's it. Now, they do have a lot of young players, but their overall estimated payroll in 2026 is $104 million. Based on all that information, and here's the other thing Jojo Romero is the only player that is a free agent in 2027 for the Cardinals. That is eligible for arbitration. That does not have a guaranteed salary. The other two guys with guaranteed salaries on 1-year deals. So your 3 free agents next year for the Cardinals are Jojo Romero, Dustin May, and Ryan Stanek. You got Donovan and Newbar under control for the next 2 years. You got Palante, Burleson, and Gorman under control through 2028. Matthew Liberatore is under control through 2030 with Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, Yvonne Herrera, and Riley O'Brien. And then you got a couple other guys that are free agents in 2031. Kyle Leahy and Victor Scott II. And then Matt Swanson, who's 27 years old, is under contract till 2032. Very young core group. What is the first year of a window for the Cardinals in terms of competitiveness with all that being said? Is it 2027?
No.
Is it 2028? Is it
No.
2029? Is it 2030? I mean, those are the questions you have to ask, because a lot of these players, these young guys that you're relying on, Donovan, 29 years old. Lars Newpart, 28 years old. Andre Palante, Alec Burleson, both 27 years old. Nolan Gorman, 25. Matthew Liberatore, 26 years old. These are guys that I think can probably compete in 2028. That would be my guess.
I wouldn't even think that, because you also have to think that there were 2 prize prospects that St. Louis has had over the last couple of years that were really supposed to change the franchise, and that's Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn. Both of those guys have become average or below average players, and I believe Jordan Walker even got sent down last year.
Jordan Walker's 23 years old. Mason Wynn is 23 years old.
I understand that, but they're
under contract till 2030. I mean, you give them a couple of years, they'd probably be fine.
They've had a couple years already.
They're only 23. Here's the narrative, though, on the young players. Just because guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill shined at age 20 doesn't mean that's the path of development for everybody else.
I'm not expecting them to be megastars. I'm expecting them to be at least somewhat competent, and they have not shown that over the start of their career. They're going into what, year 3, year 4 now? Both of them?
There's no way Mason Wynn's been on the. Did he come up at age 20?
This is probably year 3 for Mason Wynn. This is going into year 4 for Jordan Walker.
Mason Wynn's got 2 years of service time. Jordan Walker's got 2 years of service time.
Walker played 51 games in 2024. He made his debut in 2023, playing 117 games. He hit 201 in 24, hit 215 last year.
Mason Wynn had a 2.2 WAR last year and a 253 batting average with a 673 OPS. That's competent. That's not awful. For a 23-year-old,
I'll give you he
got better. Like, you just want those guys to get better. You want them to be competing when they're 25 years old, which is in 2 years.
My point that I was getting to was those guys are showing that St. Louis hasn't really drafted all that well and haven't developed talent all that well. So I wouldn't really trust this crop of young players. I think the window is further towards 2030 than it is to 2027.
I think 2028 is the beginning of their window, because they're only spending $100 million right now. And all these guys are cheap. And those guys are all going to be 2 years older, 2 more years of playing Major League Baseball. They're going to get better. And then you can start adding pieces and spending money that the Cardinals have done in the past, right? Mm-hmm. You can't say the Cardinals haven't spent money in the past.
They have.
They have spent money in the past. So that young core 2 years from now, 2 more years of development, when Mason Wynn's 25 and when Jordan Walker's 25 and when Alec Burleson is 29 and Nolan Gorman is 27 and Matthew Liberatore is 28, to me, that Cardinals are going to be eligible to compete. They're going to be better than most of the teams in their division.
JJ Weatherholt's still in AA. Should be in AAA this year.
But that, to me, tells me that 2028 is the beginning of the window. Who's a free agent in 2028? Braden Donovan and Lars Newbar. Mm-hmm. So to me, from the Cardinals, those guys are up for grabs. Just like Nico Horner. I think Nico Horner is even more up for grabs because he's a 1-year deal. And so now you start to talk from the Giants' perspective. Probably better to get a guy like Braden Donovan than it is to get a guy like Nico Horner. Like you said at the beginning, I think Nico Horner would be great for this year, but unless you can sign these guys to a contract extension, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Now, they've been able to get a couple of guys to sign. Maybe they could get a guy like Brendan Donovan or Lars Nootbaar, or sorry, Brendan Donovan or Nico Horner to potentially sign a contract extension. But very interesting, to say the least, with some of the moves that happened this morning in Major League Baseball. Nolan Arenado is now an Arizona Diamondback. Giants shopping for a second baseman. What else is going on? We take a look at the hot stove with Frank Marchese when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan.
Bet tonight.
Not a bad idea.
That I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh God!
Oh, it hits the ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff! What a great leadoff!
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up? Oh. No, Rick.
There's the Joel we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
Someone gassed.
Shell's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
Ethan, you better get a hit
Yeah,
now.
it's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence. Ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him!
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman I can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too. That's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go!
Go!
Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got onto that bat.
Hey, the sprint suck.
Come on,
You
Cello.
can play cello.
Oh, look at the look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick
Oh.
me, dude. You can't see it. It sucks.
I can't see anything.
Oh, I crawled back. Hey, did you ask him to buy you a beer after that?
Hey,
Got us beer, dude.
out there, dude. You serious right now?
He does.
Dude, yeah, Ethan, seriously, dude.
I know. Hey, Ethan, sit next one. You don't boo nobodies. That's what I'm hearing.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Nice ball, Matt. Nice job.
I'm the best. I'm the best.
Hey, good job. Hey, we won. Nice job. Good job.
Good game. Good game, guys. Good game. Good game. Good game.
That big guy's going.
Good game. Where do you want me to sign, sir?
Like where you're always.
Don't send that to Fox.
No, nobody makes me sign. But I'll whatever you need for your kids or whatever, like sign ball or anything. Let me know.
You're all over it.
Bet tonight.
Not a bad idea.
That I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh God!
Oh, it hits the ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff. What a great leadoff.
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh.
No, Rick.
There's the Joel we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
Someone gassed.
Shell's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
Ethan, you better get a hit
Yeah,
now.
it's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence. Ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him! Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman that can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right. Glasses on too. That's why. Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down. Who bats after Q? I think it's the other team. Go!
Score!
Go!
Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got onto that bad. Hey, the Surprenant suck. Come on, Cello. I can play cello.
Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97 through thefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan. There's people in the YouTube chat talking about Tarek Skubal. Here's the thing with Tarek Skubal that people don't understand. It was the whole conversation about the arbitration. Does anybody want to remember what Tarek Skubal made in arbitration last year for Detroit? You remember, Frank, what I says? What he made in arbitration last year?
I don't remember, no.
$10 million. Mm-hmm. He's not going to make $31 million in the next arbitration hearing. I don't care how. It doesn't matter how good he is. Those never work out like that.
Yeah.
So when you start to look at the Tigers and the $19 million that they offered, that's kind of on par with what these teams or what these players usually get in arbitration the next year. It's definitely way below what the value is for the player, and that's why the guy end up going to free agency. There's no way that the Tigers are going to pay the $31 million for Tarek Skubal. It doesn't. An arbiter is going to. He's got to favor the Tigers almost indefinitely. Because because one of our resident Michigan guys like, oh, the Padres could trade for 1 year of Skubal. I'm like, no, they can't. Be sweet if they did, but I doubt it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We had some news happen in the Major League Baseball world earlier this morning, and we have a lot going on the hot stove. The stove's starting to heat up a little bit, Frank. What do we got today on the MLB Hot Stove update?
It certainly is starting to heat up here as we move into the later months. The New York Yankees and outfielder Cody Bellinger have been reported to be at a pretty serious impasse over the weekend. The Yankees have reportedly offered Bellinger a 5-year contract worth roughly $30 million per year, which is comparable to what Pete Alonso got from Baltimore. Cody Bellinger, however, is looking for a reported 7-year contract and more money. The Yankees now seem to be operating under the assumption that Bellinger will not be back in pinstripes next season, and have switched their attention to guys like Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Nico Horner, and Luis Robert Jr., according to John Heyman. Bellinger's potential suitors include the Dodgers, Giants, Mets, Blue Jays, and the Cubs. A return to both the Dodgers and the Cubs for him.
I don't know how much better he thinks he's going to do than $30 million a year at his age.
I saw somebody say it on Twitter. There is a point where somebody becomes so delusional that you have to become envious, because they just live in a fantasy world. There is no world in which Cody Bellinger is making more than $30 million a year for 7 years.
I don't get it. I mean, how Cody's my age, right? Isn't he 30, right?
I believe so.
Or it might be a year older than me, because I remember he was on the Little League World Series team the year I was doing I was that age.
I was on the Little League.
Yeah, I was on one of the Scripps Ranch All-Star teams. The other one lost to Solana Beach, who lost to Chandler, that Cody Bellinger was on. But I digress on that. I look at just how I don't know why he thinks he's going to get that kind of money. I mean, he had some rough years at the end of the Dodgers. He got to resurrect a little bit, but yeah, he's going to be, he's 30 and a half years old.
Does he think he's going to make that money, or does Scott Boras think he should make that money?
Right. Remember, he didn't take the player option at $25 million for 2026, which you know what is fine if you want to get a deal of more than 25 a year. Yankees are willing to give him 30 a year. He gets a raise and a 5-year deal that's going to pay him until he's 35 years old. I'd take that. And you can remain in pinstripes. Oh, and by the way, you're a lefty at Yankee Stadium. Are you kidding me? Unless he just really wants to be back on the West Coast with the Dodgers, there's no reason why he would say no to that. Unless he thinks, I mean, he thinks he's getting $40 million a year.
There's no shot.
There is no shot. What did Bregman just get? 35 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Do you think Bellinger should make the same amount of money as Alex Bregman?
No. He's not as good as Alex
either.
Bregman. He's not as good as Kyle Tucker. No,
he's not. He's not better than either of those players. I mean, he hit 272 with 29 homers last year in Yankee Stadium. Those are a little inflated being at Yankee Stadium, I would say.
Yeah.
And playing in the American League East that has a lot of bandboxes. I mean, he tore it up in Chicago when he hit 307. He resurrected his career after what was just an awful 2025 and an okay 2026. Jumped down, back down to a 2.2, and then again
25 and 6.
Sorry, when he was 25 and 26 in 2021 and 2022. Contract years, he has done extremely well. The prove it years.
Well, there's a contract year player. Let's go.
Yeah, at a 5.1 WAR. I mean, it's the second highest WAR he's had in his career. But I can't imagine Cody Bellinger is going to continue to do that till he's age 35. Not when he has had a lot of down spurts too. I mean, from 2020 through 2022 were bad years in Dodger uniforms in which the Dodgers were like, yo, we'll see ya. So I can't imagine him getting, I mean, this is his contract to get his bag, right? He proved it. He did the prove it deals. Yeah. He bet on himself. But sometimes even betting on yourself is not going to get you the contract you're thinking you're going to get.
Especially at a time where teams are clearly trying to stop bleeding money as they're getting into a new CBA. There's no way he's getting the contract he thinks he deserves at this time.
Who else said that? The Dodgers, the Giants, the Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Cubs? I don't see the Giants spending that kind of money.
No.
The Dodgers, as much as they love to spend money, they don't like to waste money. Plus, why would you give Cody Bellinger something that you could give Kyle Tucker?
Yeah. And I think as far as those guys are concerned, I can see the Cubs just going after Bellinger to get him back. I see the Dodgers, Mets, and Blue Jays going after Bellinger if one of them loses out to Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And in that case, you're automatically knocking one of those two guys off the list.
Hopefully he goes to the Dodgers. Hopefully the Yankees overpay for him. Hey, the Yankees won that argument last time. Remember, Garrett Cole's like, I'm opting out of this, and they ends up signing for the exact same deal.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, go ahead. See who's going to pay you that kind of money.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, see ya.
What are we doing?
That's a lot of money the Cubs would have to take on top of the fact that they just paid for Alex Bregman.
Yep, absolutely. The top free agent is still on the market, and more information is coming out about who might be in the mix to land the services of Kyle Tucker. As reported by MLB Network Radio's Jim Duquette, Tucker has had meetings with the Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Mets over the last week, either in person or over video. Those are currently the most serious bidders for Kyle Tucker, with more potentially out there, including. Okay, that's fun. Including the Yankees, as it seems unlikely for Bellinger.
Yeah, to me, if you are Cody Bellinger, you kind of want to sign before Kyle Tucker. Because once Kyle Tucker signs, you're going to get less than what Kyle Tucker got. You're not going to get more than what Kyle Tucker got, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to get way less. So to me, if you're Cody Bellinger, you're trying to sign as quickly as possible. But I think a lot of teams know what they're willing to spend on Kyle Tucker. I think a lot of teams know what they'd be willing to spend on Cody Bellinger, and nobody's at this point. It's funny. I heard Ben Higgins talk about this during Bennett Woods at the end of the show, talking about contract negotiations. Yeah, sure. Everybody is going to say, every good agency is like, oh, we got a better deal. We got a better deal. We got a better deal. You got to go up. You got to go up. You got to go up. But if you're a team, if you're a general manager or a team, eventually you got to call the bluff. Like, we're not going to pay that. And I think a lot of teams are doing that with Cody Bellinger right now. I don't think as many teams are doing it with Kyle Tucker, but Kyle Tucker is the one that holds all the cards right now in Major League Baseball when it comes to contracts. And I think some of these teams have pivoted on the other players, and that's why you've seen some of the moves that they have made. As much as they say the Cubs aren't done, I can't see the Cubs already committed to $231 million towards their payroll in 2026. I can't imagine that's jumping to 260 something, but we'll see, because that's the next thing on the list, right? Cubs not done after Alex Bregman signing?
I wouldn't think so. No, that's that is the next one on the list. Sorry, we're dealing with an issue over here. After signing Alex Bregman over the weekend, the Cubbies have an infield including Alex Bregman, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, and Michael Busch going into the season. They also have third baseman Matt Shaw, who had a standout rookie season in 226, 13 home runs and 44 RBIs in 126 games. Shaw was expected to be the Cubs' starting third baseman going into 2026, but now with Bregman in town, that plan has obviously changed. Shaw finds himself as a potential trade piece along with Nico Horner with a month to go before spring training. Shaw is a compelling trade piece because he has 5 years of control, while Horner hits free agency at the end of this season, which is why his name has been floated out in trade talks.
I guess that's a place where you could free up some money, kind of. Not really. Nico Horner's being paid $11.6 million this year. Shaw, with all the control that he has and being super cheap, I mean, you're going to get a haul at it for him. But here's the other thing, too, is a lot of different teams understand that you have a plethora of players and need to get rid of it. That kind of eliminates your leverage a little bit, because teams know that you have to get rid of somebody. So they're not going to overpay for a lot of these things. Are you talking about the breaking news?
Yes.
We'll get to that here in a second.
Okay.
Last thing is Bo Bichette getting meetings and not in Toronto. It seems like Bo Bichette was going to look elsewhere to play. We saw that coming with a couple other moves that the Blue Jays are interested in as of right now. It was announced on Friday that Bichette has a video meeting with the Phillies set up for this week. And as mentioned before, the Yankees are now ramping up their intensity for their pursuit for a shortstop. Phillies do have a lot of things that they have to move around if they sign Bo Bichette. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But we got some NFL news that kind of leads into the game last night. We'll talk about that NFL news when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan.
Follow the high-flying UCSD Tritons as they look to defend their Big West title and return to the NCAA tournament this year. The UCSD Tritons play here on 97.3 The Fan.
There's a myth that eating healthy, fresh, and organic isn't affordable. But here at Sprouts Farmers Market, you'll find surprisingly great prices on delicious and healthy finds like fresh organic produce, cage-free eggs, 100% grass-fed beef, and cool new snacks. And if you don't believe me, check out this nice lady doing a happy dance on the checkout line.
Go, Sarah. Save money. On organics. Ooh, save money. Oh, yeah.
Come see for yourself at Sprouts Farmers Market.
Ooh, yeah.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEG 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Hey, it's Ben Woods here, reminding you that San Diego's best place to play cards is also its closest. 7 Mile Casino offers Texas Hold'em poker, California-style blackjack, high gal poker, and baccarat.
Make sure you get in on the weekend for their award-winning brunch from Sammy's.
It's so easy to get to. You don't have to drive into the East County. Just head down the 5 freeway to Chula Vista. Get off Bay Boulevard right there on San Diego Bay. It's our place. Make it your 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Member Week is on at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off hundreds of items like appliances, home essentials, decor, and more. Perfect for your January reset. Plus, earn 5 times the points on an eligible purchase. Shop member deals in-store and online from January 8th to the 14th. Still not a member? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help, you save. Point boosters subject to exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. Never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happens. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
This January 31st, make your unused tech matter. It's Tech the Halls presented by Computers to Kids. Tony Gwynn Jr. here, ambassador for C2K, inviting you to be a part of a one-day electronics collection drive benefiting students in need. Bring your used working and non-working computers, phones, laptops, tablets, and other devices and turn them into powerful learning tools. All electronics accepted. January 31st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Snapdragon Stadium for C2K's Tech the Halls Collection Drive. Learn more at c2k.org.
Introducing Lineage Watch Company, an American watch brand proudly owned and operated here in San Diego. Lineage watches are more than just timepieces. They're a celebration of American craftsmanship, designed, engineered, and purpose-built in the USA. Lineage's watches are uniquely powered by American movements. Define your legacy today with the Lineage timepiece at lineagewatchco.com. That's lineagewatchco.com. Lineage Watch Company, the official timepiece of the San Diego Padres radio network.
$11:18 on a Tuesday. We had Monday Night Football last night. Steelers and Texans. What a beatdown. Texans beat up on the Steelers 30-6 last night. I know I said I could see this game potentially being a good game, but it was almost expected that the Texans, who are way better than the Steelers, to go into Pittsburgh at whatever the new Heinz Field's called and beat down the Pittsburgh Steelers. Highlighted by their defense, may I add.
To be fair, Houston's defense was great. But when it came down to the end of that game, Pittsburgh just quit on both ends of the ball. They just quit. That pick six, there was no reason for that to be a pick six. The only person who tried on that pick six was Aaron Rodgers. He was the only one who actually tried. And that run up the middle that got the touchdown before that, not a soul went after. Who's the running back for? I have it on the sheet here. Who the heck is he? Not a soul went after Woody Marks until until he got past him. And then they just stopped. Pittsburgh straight up quit last night.
Well, they probably quit on Aaron Rodgers, who is a pain in the ass to play with. I mean, you can see at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, he's throwing everybody under the bus. He's yelling at them all that they got to be better. I mean, eventually that just falls on deaf ears. You're like, you know what, old man? It's on you, big dog. Steelers and Texans were tight in the first half, as expected, because the Texans just cannot do anything offensively. And that's why that they're in a little bit of a jam against the Patriots. Now, their defense is good. They held Pittsburgh to a field goal and 2 field goals in the first half and 2 field goals for the entire game. But the Steelers last night, punt, field goal, punt, field goal. And the second half, punt, fumble, punt, interception, and a game. Texans scored on offense, what was that, once, maybe twice? Their offense isn't very good, but the Texans' defense is legit. So what's going to keep them in games? And they beat down the Steelers 30-6. Well, this morning, and this is a question that Frank texted me last night. You think Mike Tomlin's going to get fired? I don't think Mike Tomlin was going to get fired. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as the head coach. It's just like the translation of that is, Mike, it's probably time.
Yeah, you've earned the respect of not being fired.
The Pittsburgh Steelers always baffle me with the success that they have had in terms of coaching. I mean, this will be their 4th coach that they hire since 1969. I mean, that is insane in the grand scheme of things. When you talk about Pittsburgh head coaches, when you talk about head coaches in football in general, since 1969, they have had 3 coaches. Can you name me the 3 coaches of the Pittsburgh Steelers since 1969?
No, because I only remember Tomlin.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin.
Oh, Bill Cowher, duh, idiot.
Foul.
Yeah, no, that's.
He draws the foul.
I'll give myself 2 there because I definitely should have known Bill Cowher.
The Pittsburgh Steelers in their history. Now, before they were the Steelers, they were the Pirates. Did you know that? The first football team in Pittsburgh were the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I did not know
in 1933. Forrest Dowds was their head coach.
The more you know.
The more you know. 1, 2. The Steelers before 1969 had 13 coaches. From 1933 to 1968, they had 13 different coaches. And from 1969 to present day, they've had 3.
And Cowher only changed because he retired.
Yeah, he retired in 2006. He retired after they won the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Tires on top, right? So like Bill Cowher, 1992 to 2006. Chuck Noll was there 69 to 91. And then Mike Tomlin completed 19 seasons as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that the only news today in terms of the NFL? Greg Roman got fired as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers today. But here's the deal on the Pittsburgh Steelers situation. I think a lot of people were in the conversation of, should the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of Mike Tomlin? Is it time for Mike Tomlin to move on? All that other stuff. He was the longest tenured head coach, correct? In the NFL?
Yeah.
In front of Harbaugh?
Yeah, the 2 longest tenured head coaches out.
And the John Harbaugh one was head-scratching to me because he had done such a good job. It was like one of the 1 years that he had not done well, and they were a field goal away from potentially making the postseason and then being in line to get their ass beat by the Texans. But I was surprised by that one. I'm a little surprised by this, and I'm a little not. Like, it's been 19 seasons. Mike Tomlin has had good years for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but not great years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They continue to have, winning records all the time, but they just could not do anything in the postseason. And to be honest with you, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in a sense of what I like to call quarterback purgatory. Mike Tomlin's not the reason why that team ain't winning. Mike Tomlin's not the reason why that team ain't winning. That team's not winning because they don't have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is like, he's too old now. I mean, that was the other question too, is like, is this the end of Aaron Rodgers' career? Like, was that last throw on the pick six the last throw of his career?
From Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, that's sure what it sounded like.
I would say so. I mean, I'm kind of done with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers can really do anything at this point in time. I mean, what team is he helping at this point? I mean, who's he going to go help?
He was helping the Texans last night.
Yeah. I mean, he was okay for the Steelers this year. They were not good, though. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been just in purgatory since Ben Roethlisberger retired. And even the last 2 years of Ben Roethlisberger, they've been kind of in a jam. Ben Roethlisberger got hurt remember the 2019 season? They went 8-8, finished in second, and then he came back and they finished 12-4, and that's when they had TJ Watt, a very young player, right? And so like they were number one, but they lost in the wild card in their last 4 playoff appearances. They've had a winning record every single season of Mike Tomlin the last 19 years. Obviously, you want to compete for a Super Bowl. The last time they went to a conference championship game was 2016. When they went 11-5. But as soon as Ben Roethlisberger retired, they've been in quarterback purgatory. Mm-hmm. Kenny Pickett supposed to save the day. Mason Rudolph supposed to save the day. They went and got Russell Wilson, which you knew was going to be a disaster. And now they would go get Aaron Rodgers. They're in purgatory until they go draft a young quarterback that they can build a team around. They got to go find another Ben Roethlisberger.
Am I hallucinating, or was Mitch Trubisky there for a couple of years?
He was, but he never made it as like the stud. He was never there for the whatever it is. For the majority of the time, he was never like the overall top passer. I mean, I'm looking at the top passers of the Steelers since 2019.
No, I just didn't know if I was having a fever dream.
No, I think he was there. I just don't think he was playing. Roethlisberger, Rudolph, Roethlisberger, Pickett, Wilson, Rodgers. They have a quarterback problem. They have a massive quarterback problem. I think a lot of teams have quarterback problems. There's a lot of teams that have quarterbacks, and there's a lot of teams that have quarterback problems. And unfortunately for the NFL, most teams have quarterback problems over quarterbacks. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have a quarterback problem. Aaron Rodgers, he's all right. But you know what? They were not a good team for most of the year. They got the benefit of their division being awful. Mm-hmm. They had the benefit of not, having that difficult of a schedule. They won 10 games this year, and they were a field goal away from being 9-8 again and not making the playoffs. Instead, they go 10-7 for the third year in a row. They win the division, and they lose in the wild card for the 5th time in the last 5 appearances to the wild card. Mike Tomlin's out. Mike Tomlin, he's stepping down as a coach. Is he going to take a year off? I'd take a year off if I was Mike Tomlin.
I don't
take
know.
a year off because you know what? You're going to get a bunch of people calling your name very soon after that.
I think you get a bunch of people calling your name right now. I don't see how... Like the Giants.
Maybe the Ravens should hire Mike Tomlin and the Steelers should hire John Harbaugh.
Oh, so this is how you guys do it.
Yeah.
This is how you guys beat us so many years. I like the Giants, again, not just being a fan. That's an enticing job. Jackson Dart looks like he's going to be the real deal. You have some stepping stones there. You have a top 5 pick this year as well. That's a team that needs a culture change in the worst way. And both Harbaugh and Tomlin can both do it. I think if a Giants-esque job comes along where you have the pieces, they just need a leader. They just need that head coach. I think they take it. If not, I don't see Tomlin going to coach the Raiders. I don't see him going to coach Cleveland. I don't see him quote unquote stepping down a peg. But if really all you need is a leader, yeah, I can see him taking it this year.
I think he needs to take a year off. Steelers fans, everybody, all the Steelers fans are rejoicing right now, thinking this is their biggest problem. Their biggest problem is their roster's not very good. Defense has been solid. Their offense has not been good in the last handful of years. They don't have a quarterback. I don't think they have a quarterback of the future. I mean, I don't know what you do with Aaron Rodgers. Do you bring him back next year? I wouldn't bring him back next year. But here's the problem that a lot of NFL teams face all the time, Frank. And that is the decision to make on your quarterback of, if I got to keep this guy, do I have to spend all this money to keep this quarterback? Or do I try to suffer and not have a guy that's going to like make me competitive, right? So there's different tiers of quarterback. There's that elite quarterback that the top teams in the NFL have. It's the Patrick Mahomes of the world, right? It's the Josh Allens of the world. It's the, I believe Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott. I mean, these are the guys that are always going to be successful despite the talent around them. And then you have the quarterbacks after that are good, solid quarterbacks, but these are the quarterbacks that if you pay a lot of money, it's going to start to fall off because all of a sudden the resources around them are not keeping them afloat. I look at guys like Brock Purdy. I look at guys like Jalen Hurts. I look at guys like, I think Daniel Jones is in that category. Although he hadn't really been very good in New York. He had a little bit of a resurrection in Indianapolis before. I think guys like Sam Darnold are like that. Baker Mayfield. I mean, these are the quarterbacks that are serviceable. You can win a Super Bowl with these guys, but you can't pay them the most money on the team. That's that tier. And right now the Steelers are in that tier. They have quarterback play that's competent enough where they can win the division and have winning records. But they don't have a quarterback that they can spend a lot of money on that's going to carry the team year in and year out. And the risk of the Steelers right now is, do we go get another quarterback that is good enough to make us win, but we're going to have to really load up around him to make us win a Super Bowl? Or do we start to rebuild again and go, okay, let's get a placeholder at quarterback. Let's build from the trenches out like we used to. Let's build our defense strong. Let's get the weapons, and then let's draft a rookie and try to win in those 4 years that he's a rookie as we're paying everybody else a lot of money. That's the decision that teams have to make. Do they want to be relatively bad during those time periods in order to potentially lock in when they hit on a quarterback? I think the Bills did that. I think the Niners did that, right? San Francisco, I think, is a prime example of how you should build a team. And they had their window, and right now they decided to make the decision to go with Brock Purdy and have him carry the team, which I don't think will be the case, by letting other players go, because you can't afford to pay everybody. And once you start paying these guys and they start hitting you with higher and higher cap numbers and the talent starts to separate, it gets a little bit different. But the Niners in San Francisco built from the trenches out, and then won with Mr. Irrelevant and got close. And then it didn't go their way in the Super Bowl. Are the Steelers willing to do that? To me, that's what they're going to have to do to be successful. It's not just bring in a new coach and then hope everything's going to be great and get Mike Tomlin's guys fired up and ready to play. We saw the Chargers try to do that. Norv Turner won with Marty Schottenheimer's guys. Right? New voice, new phrase. But once Norv Turner's team started showing up, it was a little bit different.
Yeah, that was a team that was also already established, too. This is a complete reclamation project that you have in Pittsburgh. And as I was talking to my friend while we were watching this game, he said the Pittsburgh Steeler rebuild videos in Madden 27 are going to be lit this year. You're not going to get rid of a guy like Mike Tomlin with all of the pedigree that he has, not just with the players, but with this organization as well, only to just follow in the footsteps that you're doing. If you are making this type of move, this level of move, you are bracing for an entire organizational change. And for Steelers fans, it is going to be a long couple of years because they have to do that hard reset that we're so used to seeing baseball teams do. That they're going to have to completely rebuild this organization, this franchise from the bottom up. And that's going to take some time. You don't do that if you keep a guy like Mike Tomlin. You just keep on the same path. So the Steelers doing this, to me, signals that, yes, they are, in fact, ready and willing to make that jump, make that move to completely rebuilding this team from the ground up.
The biggest problem for NFL teams right now is the quarterbacks coming out of college are not
great.
They're not good.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you can say what you want about Mendoza, but like I've seen a lot of scouts already not impressed with the way he reads defenses, not impressed the way he is able to will he be able to do things at the NFL level? You get a very small amount of those guys that are coming out of college now, and they're you know what they are? They're usually on teams that aren't very good. And that was the case. That was the case for the last era of college football.
And
the last era of quarterbacks in the NFL. Guys like Phillip Rivers were on teams that lost in college. NC State. But you know what? What might help out for Mendoza? You know who Phillip Rivers' quarterback coach was at NC State?
No.
Kurt Cignetti, who is Mendoza's head coach at Indiana. We'll talk more about this when we come back. Mike Tomlin now out as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll talk more baseball with you as we continue and get to the sports thread on the Braden Surprenant Show. Standing Somewhere Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. This this coaching carousel.
Bill House Studios with an open door. Hold on a second.
That's fine. Nobody's yelling out there.
Yet.
Maybe they'll all yell, we know how. They could. I mean, they theoretically could. They could do that. To me, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're in quarterback purgatory. They got to cut that thing down to the studs. They got to start loading up on young players in the trenches, get a bunch of linebackers, build the secondary, right? They got some good pieces in there too, and get the team set before you draft a young quarterback, and then you start your window of success. That's what a lot of teams that have had success have done. Now, in terms of the coaching carousel, we were talking about this off air, but the reality of the situation is you're Mike Tomlin. What job is available that you want to absolutely jump to this offseason just to take another job? I mean, you just were the coach of the Steelers for 19 seasons. You never had a losing record. Everybody's going to want you, but that doesn't mean you want to sign up on a sinking ship. There's a lot of bad jobs out there. Now, the guys that take a lot of these bad jobs are young coaches that are looking for an opportunity because they can't say no to these opportunities. You're Mike Tomlin. Go do television for a year. And then when a good job opens up, then you can get out there and set yourself up for success. One of our listeners who, is more of a listener to the baseball season, his name's Chris Ford. He does a lot of stuff with high school football coaches here in town. He helps them get hired. He does a lot of clinics and stuff like that. He's now an administrator up in the, I think he's up in Hesperia or something like that. He's up in the desert. But some advice that he gives. Now, I get asked, he's like, oh, what, when I coach football, oh, do you want to be a college coach? I'm in broadcasting. Coaching is a different thing. It's a different side thing. Eventually, I'm going to have to give up the coaching. But what a lot of young coaches get told from Chris Ford, I think this is great advice, and it should be used for any place that you go get employed, is do not take the job if you're not getting the full support from the job. Even if it's a job that you think you need, or it's the next stepping stone, whatever it is, don't be super excited to take the job if you know the administration's not on your side. Because there's a lot of administrations that aren't going to give you the resources to be successful. They're not going to give you the resources to, let you be the program that you want to be at the high school level. They don't care about sports enough. It's just, they're just, and that's administrators all over the place. I mean, you ever dealt with a school? Anybody that live in the real world, you ever have to deal with a school? I mean, they're in a different fantasy land all the time because they basically just tell kids no all the time, so they can tell adults no all the time. But that's why they never get anything done. And so when you run into administrations like that, you never have success. There's a lot of high school jobs here in town that I would never touch with a 10-foot pole because the admin doesn't even want you to win. They don't understand the value there. The same thing can be said about college, and the same thing can be said about the National Football League. There are organizations you do not ever want to be a head coach for unless it is your only opportunity to be a head coach and you think it's going to propel you to a better job. And unfortunately right now, that is most of the jobs out there in the NFL right now. I mean, what are all the jobs right now available? The only one that's a decent job is the Ravens. The Ravens are one of the only decent jobs right now in the National Football League. The New York Giants is a terrible job. It's a terrible job right now. Joe Sheehan, who's the general manager, is a lame duck manager. Even if you take over the first year, you better turn that thing around immediately, or otherwise Sheehan's getting fired. And guess what the new GM's going to do? Get a new head coach, because you're not the guy you hired. Arizona Cardinals, one of the worst organizations in all of sports. That is a lousy job. Mike Tomlin, why would you want to go be the Arizona Cardinals coach? There's no reason to. Atlanta, they have been very iffy for the last handful of years. At least with the Falcons, they have moved some things around the front office. It might be better, but that's not that great of a job right now. Cleveland, are you kidding me? Anybody want to be the head coach in Cleveland right now? Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. He's got no support around him. And the way that they handled that Shedeur Sanders draft pick, it looked like he was being held hostage and he had to make that draft pick. That's a terrible job. The Raiders, awful job. That is an awful job to have. Not even Pete Carroll can survive 1 year with the Raiders. Awful job. Miami Dolphins, awful job. New York Giants, awful job. Tennessee Titans, awful job. You want to talk about ownership that has put that organization back 10 years? The Titans, man. Those are all awful jobs. Think about next year if you're Mike Tomlin. You could have the Cowboys job open up. You could have Andy Reid might retire, right, with Kansas City. The Chiefs job could be opened up. The Eagles could be sick of Nick Sirianni at that point in time. That job could open up. If Matt LaFleur does not get the contract extension with the Packers and he bolts for Atlanta, the Green Bay job could be open. That could be open this year. That would be the only job to me that Mike Tomlin would have to listen on a phone call for. Titans, no way. Giants, no way. Dolphins, no way. Raiders, no way. Browns, no way. The only job that makes any sense is the Baltimore Ravens. And if you're the Ravens, I don't know why you would hire Mike Tomlin. I mean, is that really a step up from what you've already had in Harbaugh? Mike Tomlin, take the year off, make good money doing TV, be the next Bill Cowher on TV. You might set yourself up to actually have a stress-free, enjoyable fall every single year. And then a good team might give you a call. You got to wait for a good team. If you're anybody else, you're looking for a young coach. Steelers just became the best job on the market. The Steelers organization. And if you're Pittsburgh, you got to get a young coach, eager, excited, move things around on offense a little bit, build from the trenches out. And the Steelers are a good organization. Every single one of those seasons, they had a winning record. They'll be lined up for success. It's probably time for a change in Pittsburgh. They probably could have survived with Mike Tomlin. They're in quarterback purgatory right now. 833-288-973. 833-288-973. That was we had about a lot of big news today, but there's more news that we haven't been able to get to, and that is what our sports thread is for.
The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me.
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what we got going on today?
We've got a couple of things that were left over from yesterday that we didn't get to.
Number 1.
First thing is the aforementioned Eagles head coach, Nick Sirianni. Eagles coach Sirianni defended A.J. Brown following Sunday's 23-19 playoff loss to the San Francisco 49ers, a game that included multiple drops by the star wide receiver and a heated sideline exchange between the two.
Always open. Always open.
Sirianni said he's got the best hands I've ever seen, the way he catches the ball, the amount of different types of catches he's made. When you get as many targets as he does, you're going to have some drops. I know he will beat himself up on that. Brown had 2 drops, tying a career high. One of them came with a little over 2 minutes remaining in the contest on a 3rd and 5 from the Philadelphia 40, with the Eagles trailing by 4. Jalen Hurts kept the possession going by completing a pass to tight end Dallas Goedert on 4th down, and the Eagles eventually made it down to San Francisco's 21 before the drive stalled. Sirianni, the big point from this was that Sirianni and Brown had a pretty big blow up late in the first half. Brown and Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata were slow to get off the field following a 3rd down incompletion, prompting Sirianni to run down the sideline and yell at them to get off the field to special teams ready to punt. Brown appeared to take exception, and the two got face-to-face before the Eagles' chief of security, Dom DeSandro, calmly guided Brown in a different direction. So things are a little bit chippy in Philadelphia, more so than they normally are.
Yeah, a couple of things there. Like, A.J. Brown, get your ass off the field, dude. That happens all the time. Like, it happens at all. Get off the field. Stop being an eye guy. Get off the field. Your only job is to catch the football. That's it. Receivers' only job is to catch a football. They think they're like so important to football teams. They just have to catch the ball. They have no other responsibilities. Just catch the ball. That's it. They don't have to get open. The offensive coordinator gets them open. Just catch it. Run in the direction I tell you and catch the ball. That's all you have to do. And then when the ball falls incomplete and getting your punt team out there, get your ass off the field. A.J. Brown throwing a temper tantrum again. Hey, you know what, A.J.? You play for a team that's got a lot of receivers and a quarterback that can't get you the ball. Probably time to get out of Philly, dude.
Oops.
Probably time to get out of Philly. Nick Sirianni is a tired act, too, by the way. Such a tired act.
Him or Jim Harbaugh worse?
Oh, Sirianni for sure. At least Jim Harbaugh is a decent football coach. I mean, Sirianni is too busy like yelling at opposing fans than he is coaching football.
Love it.
He got the benefit of having like great offensive, defensive lines, a loaded receiving core, and arguably the best running back in the league on his team. It's kind of hard to mess that up. And now that you paid Jalen Hurts a lot of money, guess who they're not going to be able to pay anymore?
Time to mess it up.
Exactly. It's the simple. Teams continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And Nick Sirianni will probably be looking for a job a year from right now. Mike Tomlin, new Eagles head coach next year.
You want to stay in the NFL or do you want to go to the Olympics?
Keep the NFL going.
Okay.
Number 2.
Any uncertainty surrounding Matt LaFleur's future in Green Bay is not likely to last long. LaFleur, whose team blew an 18-point lead on Saturday's NFC wildcard game against the Bears, said he expects to meet with team president Ed Policy. Right? Okay. Sure. Either late Sunday night or Monday, so a couple days, so either Sunday night or yesterday. We talked briefly on the plane, and there's going to be a time where we are going to get together either later tonight or tomorrow at some point. LaFleur is under contract through the upcoming season, but Ed said last June after taking over the team that he would prefer to not have a lame duck coach. So all signs point to LaFleur staying in Green Bay. And while that was bad, I don't know if he's done enough to justify an ejection over a game like that.
I don't know why the Packers would get rid of LaFleur's done a fair job in Green Bay. And here's the reality that a lot of these teams are going to quickly learn. Who else are you going to go get? Right? Mm-hmm. Who is going to go get? I mean, that's sometimes the grass isn't always greener. A couple other things that came up that we want to talk about at noon. The Mets offered how much per season?
Too much.
For Kyle Tucker? And what does it mean that Mike Tomlin was not fired? Might be a play for the Steelers in the future. We'll talk about that.
City is absolutely a place. Run that stupid game, brother. Thank you. Yeah. You want a shirt? That's so lame. That what? Swing like this. Where's it gonna go? Left or right? Yeah, I'd rather do that than hit it in a pie.
Hit a ball like that a day in my life. So
yeah, well, you start now? Because it's a different sport. That's why. Here, make sure you do the pull-up.
Why don't we swing like that to hit line drives?
Huh? Just hitting, spraying it. I mean, have you seen Luis Ariz swing a stick?
Yeah, he don't swing like that.
He might do that.
He does that as his practice swing.
10 teams want to sign him. Nice piece. Nice ball, nice ball. That's a run. Tied it up. Where's my cutoff guy? That's all I gotta say. Hey, let's go. Like this. Tick City is absolutely a place. Run that stupid game, brother. Thank you. Yeah. You want a shirt? That's so lame. That what? Swing like this. Where's it gonna go? Left or right? Yeah, I'd rather do that than hit it in a pie.
Hit a ball like that a day day in my life. So
Yeah,
why
well,
should I
you
start now?
because it's a different sport. That's why. Here, make sure you do the pull-up.
Why don't we swing like that to hit line drives?
Huh? Just hitting, spraying it. I mean, have you seen Luis Ariz swing a stick?
Yeah, he don't swing like that.
He might do that.
He does that as his practice swing.
Your first to be able to
10 teams want to sign him. Nice piece. Nice ball, nice ball. That's a run, tied it up. Where's my cutoff guy? That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's go. This.
Stick City is absolutely a place.
Run that stupid game, brother. Thank you. Yeah. You want a shirt? That's so lame. That what? Swing like this. Where's it gonna go? Left or right? Yeah, I'd rather do that than hit it in a pie.
Hit a ball like that a day in my life. So
Yeah,
why
well,
should I
you
start now?
because it's a different sport. That's why. Here, make sure you do the pull-up.
Why don't we swing like that to hit line drives?
Huh? Just hitting, spraying it. I mean, have you seen Luis Ariz swing a stick?
Yeah, he don't swing like that.
He might do that.
He does that as his practice swing.
Your first to be able to
10 teams want to sign him. Nice piece. Nice ball, nice ball. That's a run, tied it up. Where's my cutoff guy? That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's go. This.
Stick City is absolutely a place.
Run that stupid game, brother. Thank you. Yeah. You want a shirt? That's so lame. That what? Swing like this. Where's it gonna go? Left or right? Yeah, I'd rather do that than hit it in a pie.
Hit a ball like that a day in my life. So
Yeah,
why
well,
should I
you
start now?
because it's a different sport. That's why. Here, make sure you do the pull-up.
Why don't we swing like that to hit line drives?
Huh? Just hitting, spraying it. I mean, have you seen Luis Ariz swing a stick?
Yeah, he don't swing like that.
He might do that.
He does that as his practice swing.
Your first to be able to
10 teams want to sign him. Nice piece. Nice ball, nice ball. That's a run, tied it up. Where's my cutoff guy? That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's go. This.
It's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
A lot of news coming out on this Mike Tomlin situation. Obviously, Mike Tomlin has said he is stepping down as the coach in Pittsburgh. So the Steelers will be looking for a brand new coach in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of different ways that they could go about it. We talked about that, obviously. But two coaches, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, two of the longest tenured coaches in in the NFL that have combined 373 wins, 14 division titles, and 2 Super Bowls, are now out in the AFC North. But the thing that's interesting about the Pittsburgh Steelers with this situation with Mike Tomlin is the phrasing on the not fired part. Like, he's voluntarily leaving the organization. There's now been rumors that are circling that he's been thinking about doing this for a while now. For the last 3 years, it's kind of been coming to a head. I mean, you can make your own, and I'm sure we're going to get more news on this as it goes about. But the verbiage of Mike Tomlin not being fired and he's voluntarily leaving the organization means the Steelers still retain his rights as a coach. So he is going to be in ultra high demand as a head coach. This coaching carousel as well as next year's coaching carousel if he decides to take a year off. But with the Steelers still controlling the rights of his contract as we're getting the reports right now. Now, whether or not that might change, and maybe they do have a situation where they let him go, but if that's the case, the Steelers could potentially use this as leverage in a trade to potentially trade him down the road and trade his rights down the road like Sean Payton was before Sean Payton became the new head coach of the Denver Broncos. So very interesting stuff on that. Now, that was one of the deals. Here's what happened at a press conference. I just got this tweet. Here's what at a press conference. At a presser right now, Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti was asked if Mike Tomlin, who just stepped down, would be a candidate in Baltimore. The owner of the Ravens said, "Holy bleep. Wouldn't that be interesting?"
I believe that's Bisciotti.
Bisciotti? Yeah. Bisciotti then added, "Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job." That would be something.
Called a shot.
I'd love to see. You think John's going to interview for the Steelers job? I'd love to see him just switch coaches.
If you're doing your due diligence, yeah.
We mentioned that. Did we not mention that?
Yeah, we did.
We mentioned that. The other thing we wanted to talk about a little bit, the Mets offer to Kyle Tucker. Frank brought this up earlier today and was like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm like, that's a hell of a rumor. And then we got the information about 20 minutes ago when Robert Murray put out sources. New York Mets have offered $50 million per season on a short-term contract to Kyle Tucker. How do you feel about that, Frank?
I hate it.
$50 million? $50 million.
You throw $50 million
a year for Kyle Tucker.
Angie's here.
Relax.
Squirrel.
$50 million a year.
Throwing $50 million at Kyle Tucker, but not willing to go 5 years instead of 3 on Pete Alonso is
organizational malpractice.
Is going to drive the fan base up a wall.
Mets are pursuing superstar outfielder Kyle Tucker and have made a short-term offer worth $50 million a season.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting. They go on to say, like, Robert Murray wrote this on Fanside. He's like, why the Mets and Kyle Tucker a good fit? I don't care if it's a good fit or not. $50 million is ridiculous for a guy like Kyle Tucker.
It would be like Bregman's contract last year. So it'd be high AAV, opt out. So like it's stupid. It's
my guess would be my guess is the Bregman deal just at $50 million a year, right? So yeah. I'm guessing 3 years, $150.
Yeah, with opt-outs
$50 a
each year.
with an opt-out each year, player option each year. Let him bet on himself, and then he could get that extended contract. That's 29 years old. $50 million a year. Are we going to be in a situation in 3 years where Ohtani's contract is even more affordable because people are making like $80 million a year?
Well,
that don't pitch and hit?
It's affordable now. He's only making $2 million.
Stop it.
Well, he is. Only making $2 million.
Yeah, but he accounts for 35 on the AAV.
Don't.
He's still getting paid. They still are paying that money into a fund. It's not like they're not paying that money. They're still paying the money. It's just not going in his pocket yet.
Don't try to rationalize it. He's making $2 million a year.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Stop it. He's accounted for 46 towards the cap. The Dodgers are paying more than $2 million on again for him. Because that other $68 million is getting taken out of the Dodgers account and put into a different account that will then be sent to Ohtani when it's over.
Look at this guy just lying over here. It's only $2 million.
No, stop. Shut up. I'm not allowing this stupidity to happen on this show. Foul on a failed bit.
He draws the foul.
Like I was saying, $70 million a year. There's got to be somebody that's going to make more than that in the next 3 or 4 years, and people are going to be like, "What are we doing?"
You mean the brick wall Dodger fan isn't going to work?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. Adam sent the press conference of that guy, of the owner of the Ravens. You'd have to bleep it out because he says holy bleep, but it doesn't have the bleep part. So you could do that if you want. In the meantime, I have to say this. Now, here's the deal. This is what I've talked about this a lot. I will continue to talk about it as a local San Diegan that would love to see more events here in town, would love to see the tourism effect, right? Would love to see it. I have had multiple times during the Christmas break, during the holiday break. You know, this account called NFL to San Diego tweet about, like, he's trying to get somebody to be the new Jack Murphy, right? I'm in favor of it, right? I'd love to sit here and be like, hey, city needs to do this, XYZ. He goes like, will a radio host, news anchor, or sports writer here say that building a new stadium would be great? Needs to happen and can happen. That's how it gets done. I've talked about this for like 4 years on the air in multiple capacities about how San Diego needs not only a big stadium, they need something with a roof, a retractable roof, so it can host indoor events. If you build it, they will come. We had an update yesterday by Jennifer Van Grove in the San Diego Union Tribune about that mega sports proposal that is now on the clock. Everybody know about the Pangea thing? You know what Pangea is, Frank? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
You know what that is? Want to explain to the audience what Pangea is?
No, I would much rather you hear it. I'd much rather hear it from you. You'd probably explain it better than me.
Pangea? It was all the continents
Okay,
connected
yeah,
together.
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Yeah,
there's not like a special. Maybe there is. I mean, that would be over my head.
Yeah, it's the one giant landmass before the continents all split up. Yeah,
right. That's the name of this project, which is kind of funny. I saw I know Go Aztecs knows that we like to go on tangents. I saw a dude's shirt one time. It said "Reunite Pangea," like a protest shirt. Reunite Pangea. It's a shame that it's been disassembled. Reunite Pangea. Every time I see the word Pangea now, the name of it, all that stuff, immediately think about this dude wearing the Reunite Pangea shirt. I'm sure there's some out there that you can go buy. Reunite Pangea. That's good.
Don't know about Pangea.
So anyway, a development group called Pangea is proposing a massive tennis-anchored sports entertainment complex on the Chula Vista Bayfront.
Tennis anchored.
I know. That's
okay.
Sure. The project hinges on one major requirement. By July 1st, Pangea must provide proof that an elite professional tennis athlete or organization is committed to anchoring the tennis center. I feel like that's fine. You need a tenant for this gigantic complex that you're going to build down in Chula Vista.
Sure.
Proof comes in the form of a non-binding letter of intent, not a signed contract. The agreement, why July 1st matters. On January 1st of this year, Pangea entered into a short-term exclusive negotiating agreement, an ENA, with San Diego Unified Port District. The ENA gives the developer 6 months to complete 6 milestones: market demand study, project description and land use plan, project labor agreement with unions, public outreach plan, and most importantly, the elite athlete commitment. If Pangea checks all the boxes, the port commissioners can extend negotiations up to 2 more years. We're negotiating. Why this is already controversial to some people: the proposal was submitted as an unsolicited confidential plan in February 2024. Port staff evaluated it quietly for 18 months before commissioners approved the ENA. Commissioners also waived the competitive bidding process, which immediately raises eyebrows because other developers didn't have a chance to put up their own thing. All right, whatever. Honestly, if it gets me a stadium, I don't really, whatever. That's details. Who's behind the project? Pangea Development, LLC, is 100% owned by a gentleman named Gerald DeVeris. He is the chairman of the Virginia Beach-based DeVeris Group of Companies. Originally from South Africa, he studied real estate development in South Africa, started a business in South Africa, then came over to the United States, started doing his own real estate stuff on the East Coast over in Virginia. There's more details on him that I was looking at, but trying to find if he's interested in the NFL. That's basically what I'm looking at. It's like, because there's other stuff part of this project. Now, there's other firms involved. There's a local firm, Tucker Sadler Architects, are involved with this project. Provident Research Group, which is a public-private financing experts, are involved with this project. These partners do not currently hold ownership stakes. The development team has not responded publicly to media questions as laid out by Jennifer Van Grove. This is what the project includes if they could get it signed off and they could get things going down in Chula Vista. Again, it does not involve the city of San Diego. This is a Chula Vista project. It would include a tennis complex that would have a 18,000-seat tennis stadium. A stadium court, 18,000-seat stadium court,
which
I'm sure would host a lot of different
which would
tennis
host a tennis
tournaments
major,
and all that stuff. Okay, understand that. And 34 additional courts around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's good for tourism. It brings different things here.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sure,
hosting tennis tournaments.
Yeah, the tennis complex. It will also have a water polo academy. Like the sports they chose are so random to me. A tennis complex and a water polo academy. All right. It would include 4 hotels, retail village, office buildings, public trail, IMAX theater, pop stroke mini golf co-owned by Tiger Woods, and a future phase that could include a multi-purpose stadium up to 80,000 seats. I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Pop golf?
A future phase.
Owned by Tiger Woods?
A future phase could include a multi-purpose stadium up to 80,000 seats. I'm sorry, one more time, I missed it. What was the last part that you tried to just throw in there on what the project includes?
Water polo.
A future phase could include multi-purpose stadium up to 80,000 seats. Excuse me, one more time. You're not speaking loud and clear enough. A future phase could include a multi-purpose stadium up to 80,000 seats. That was originally like 50,000 seats.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking about like, it'd be nice, but like, don't you kind of need it to be like 80,000 seats? Oh. Now it's 80,000 seats.
Good idea.
Let's start thinking about this for a second. Remember the last time we had this report in February of 2024. And remember what they said that could potentially play in this? It's a stadium that could hold like,
Soccer.
50 to 60,000 people, but it could be a lot of things. It could be cricket. That was like the first thing they said.
It
was cricket. I'm sorry. Who builds an 60,000 seat stadium for cricket? Oh, and now it's 80,000 seats?
You know how many crickets there are in this country?
You know what? That's true. I think we got to shoot bigger. There's a lot of crickets in this town. 80,000 seat stadium. What could possibly fit in an 80,000 seat stadium? Cricket. Apparently, lacrosse. That was the second name listed.
Mm-hmm.
Lacrosse. Sure. I guess lacrosse. Soccer? Look, San Diego FC could go play there if they want. Everyone's San Diego FC. Yeah, great.
Got the World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup's going to be gone by the time that thing's built.
It'll come around again.
Sure. San Diego FC could probably play a big match there, maybe. 80,000 seats?
The San Diego TJ match?
Rod's on it. Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
You could dodge a wrench. You know what? Mm-hmm. Yeah. A true underdog story. Dodgeball. What other sports could be played in an 80,000 seat stadium?
College basketball.
You got to put a roof on it.
NCAA tournament. You don't have to.
You could do the outdoor. Yeah, you could do the outdoor Petco Park
thing. Outdoor indoor thing. Yeah.
That cost San Diego State a bid in the NCAA tournament that year because they lost to USD at Petco Park. That's neither here nor there.
Oops.
Trevor asked a good question. How do they get the horses in and out of the pool for water polo?
That is a good question. That is a very good question.
Very carefully.
And also, how do you train your wrist to do that? Like, that's a lot of retention. Like, that's a lot of strain. Like, when that mallet hits the water, that's a big torque on the wrist.
All right.
Supercross, which is coming here this weekend.
Oh, yeah, because they can fit 80,000 people in that stadium.
Snapdragon's going to be full this weekend. It's full.
Snapdragon holds 33,000.
Okay. I want to go. You know how cheap those tickets would be if you're putting 80,000 people in one place?
All right. What could have 80,000 seat stadium? And all real, why is that getting just thrown in there at the last minute? 80,000 seat stadium. Is that just to entice people to vote? But I don't. If I get this correct, they're publicly funding this, right? Or privately funding this, correct?
I believe it is, yeah.
Okay, scale note. This would be, by the way, if they were able to build this complex, it would be the largest sports-driven development in San Diego County history.
Good.
Now, they run into a lot of problems, too. We'll get to the we're going to talk about this 80,000-seat stadium in a second. The elephant in the room, environmental and historical baggage. The site is a former South Bay power plant, subject to environmental restrictions and protections. It's governed by Chula Vista Bayfront Master Plan, a 2010 legal settlement involving the port, the city, and environmental groups. This ENA is meant to vet whether this is real or another idea that dies quietly. There's a lot of skepticism about this project, but it is justified. The Veris and Tucker Sadler were previously involved in a soccer and hotel proposal on the same site. That plan failed after a partner claimed MLS ties that didn't exist.
Hold on, time out.
The port is clearly trying to avoid repeating history.
They do they say how many seats the water polo venue would hold?
No, but they said this is different than the Water Polo Academy. Are you saying they're going to build an 80,000-seat water polo stadium?
No, I'm saying could they possibly be building a 20,000-seat water polo arena that can be, I don't know, covered over and used for concerts or
basketball
or hockey.
I haven't seen that part of this deal. Port knows the name of the proposed tennis star that is talked about that's going to back the project. The public does not. And until July 1st, this is either the start of a transformational sports hub or another grand vision that never clears the credibility bar. That's all the information you need to know. We're going to talk about what this could mean for San Diego here in a second. Do want to get your phone calls on it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Ronald Mesa, wait on hold. We'll get to you when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. 12:23 on a Tuesday. A lot of news coming down today. We had the Mike Tomlin news. We had the trade in the National League with Nolan Arenado becoming an Arizona Diamondback. Got a lot of stuff going on today. And then we had the news yesterday about this development down in Chula Vista.
I wouldn't have stayed up until 11:30 last night writing this show because I couldn't pay attention if I had known all of this stuff was going to be happening today.
It's all right. You could bank a lot of stuff for tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a couple of guests. We got a guest coming up at 1:35 as well.
Which I got to get ready for.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's get on it. Tacos El Gordo Sportsplex. Rod. Love it. Tomorrow we'll have the president of the San Diego Gulls on at 1 o'clock. We'll also have Brock Ungrich on from the University of San Diego, talking about the baseball season coming up, as well as a clinic that they're offering at the University of San Diego. So a couple of good guests tomorrow. On Wednesday's show, we will dive into more of what's going on in the baseball world and a lot of other things. But we want to talk about this 80,000-seat stadium. I've just kind of thrown in there as part of this deal. Now, Gerald Tavares is the one that owns the Tavares Group of companies. He's the chairman of the Tavares Group of companies, which has a lot: Tavares Real Estate, Tavares Property Management, Ingenuity Development, Creative Development Partners, KLNB Asset Services, ST Burke Retail Partners, and the McGarry Group. He's the one that is putting together this project down in Chula Vista. Phase 1 is about tennis. It's a tennis center. It's a water polo academy, retail space, IMAX theater, Pop Stroke golf, which is like a adult, whatever it's called, mini golf run by Tiger Woods. 4 hotels. Like, they're really like going to redo the bayfront down there in Chula Vista over by the Gaylord. But then they throw in a future phase could include a multi-purpose stadium up to 80,000 seats. I find a couple of things interesting. So the Veras and Tucker Sadler were previously involved in a soccer and hotel proposal on the same site. That plan failed after a partner claimed MLS ties that didn't exist. But the guy's been trying to build a stadium down there before. I don't know why he would all of a sudden want to build an 80,000 seat stadium. There's only one entity, Frank, that fits an 80,000 seat stadium as a tenant.
Yep, that would be the National Football League.
That'd be the National Football League. And let me tell you right now, even though they don't have a team here in San Diego right now, them building that means they know that somebody might be interested. On top of the fact that you need to build a stadium like that here in San Diego anyway, San Diego County, because Chula Vista is going to get done. You need one of those here in town anyway just to host major events. The one thing I would say is they need to have the foresight to put a retractable roof on this facility so they can host the Final Four and they can host major indoor events as well. I know San Diego is beautiful. I know San Diego is it's America's finest city. We love the weather here. We love to enjoy the weather. That's great. But if you want to really get the bang for your buck and fill that place year round, you put a roof on the damn thing.
Would you be comparable to something like what Dallas has, where it's like mostly covered, but not entirely?
I'm thinking that,
like
or
a permanent coverage.
Any of those roofs, all the new stadiums look exactly the same. Like SoFi, it's got the transparent roof where you feel like it's outside a little bit.
True.
I think you'd have to put some type of roof on it that you could take off, or one that would cover most of the thing. Like I like Dallas. Dallas would be a good one just because you can open both sides of the doors. You can feel like you're outdoor a little bit. You could open the roof that they never open in Dallas, but you would open it all the time here in San Diego. And then you can host, I don't know, the Final Four. You can host a lot of major events. And it kind of kills two birds with one stone. Plus, you have a stadium that size. Guess who can put a bid in for the national championship for college football?
Mm-hmm.
San Diego. Guess who could have a major game at the beginning of the season? San Diego. Like SoFi they're an open air facility, so I don't think SoFi can host any basketball or anything like that. You'd have to make it where you can close some of the doors so it is an indoor facility, in my opinion. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Ron and La Mesa, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, happy Taco Tuesday, gentlemen. Hey, since it's the lunch hour, I got to tell you one thing. You seen this new commercial for Applebee's where they cut a hamburger in half and then stick it in a vat of cheese? I never thought I'd hate to eat a hamburger, but that one would definitely do it right there. Now, moving along to this Chula Vista thing. First of all, Frank, it's not so much how do they swing the mallet, it's what kind of floaties do they put on the horse to keep them from drowning. That's most important. And also, don't forget an 80,000 seating can put us back into the Super Bowl rotation again, which would be very cool. Last but not least here, Braden, Pittsburgh. They got a quarterback. His name is Will Howard. And Will Howard is the perfect quarterback for Pittsburgh. He hurt his hand early in the year, so he didn't get a chance to really shine. But that guy was the perfect blue-collar quarterback for Pittsburgh. Even though I don't like the Steelers, I might like him a little bit. A K-State guy was down there. Of course, I had to be a K-State guy.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen, there's my Tuesday, Brett. We'll talk to you later.
All right, Ron. We'll see you. Of course it's a K-State guy. I was ready for him to say Colin Klein should be the new – bring him back to be quarterback. Colin Klein should be the new head coach, the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to Ron. Just kidding. I don't want to put words in Ron's mouth. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Brad and Escondido. Brad, what's going on?
Braden, no rise on this one. Hey, you guys were talking the size of a water polo arena. I'm thinking it's seating capacity at 100. Thinking mom, dad, one of the kids watching the players, maybe the dad's ex-wife and her husband. That's about all you'd get in a water polo match, right? 100 people?
Maybe. I don't know.
By the way, that stadium was announced 4 months ago at 45,000 when it originally came out with 21 tennis courts. No pickleball, 21 tennis courts. Who's playing tennis these days? Unless they're going after the Palm Desert tournament.
But even then, I find it interesting, and Brad brings up a good point, and I appreciate the phone call, Brad. Yeah, it was like 50 to 60,000 is what I thought it was, but it could have been 45. Regardless of what the number was, as you can see, that is how a horse plays water polo.
That is a seahorse.
Yeah, well, the seahorse are the ones that play the water polo.
Yeah.
Because they're in the sea. I find it interesting that they all of a sudden decided to double the capacity for the stadium in seating capacity. Double it to 80,000. Double it to 80,000. There's only one entity that would be worth it. It's the Super Bowl. It's an NFL team. That I could tell you what. I mean, you could talk about soccer. Soccer's been very popular here in town. What does the MLS say when they tell teams to build stadiums?
20 to 30,000.
Right. They don't want 80,000 seat stadiums.
They want their stadiums full.
They want their stadiums full, and they also want if the ones that they control are like that, right? So, I mean, there are MLS teams that play in NFL-sized stadiums. They have success, like Atlanta. Atlanta gets great crowds for soccer. But the MLS team in town's got a 20-year lease with Snapdragon. They're not moving. But I'm telling you, 80,000 seats means only one thing. And to me, if you build it, you get the leverage. You have to build it first. Otherwise, it's just going to be an uphill climb. I'm telling you, you got to build it, and you got to put a roof on the thing. It has to have a roof. You have to utilize it as a multi-purpose facility.
SD Mike in the chat, you would never put NASCAR in a closed arena.
No,
because
everybody would die.
Yeah, the fumes. No shot. Never, ever.
The thing is, when you put a roof on, you can host major events for the 80,000 seat stadium, right? The problem is you can't have the NBA playing there every night. You can't have hockey playing there every night because then you turn in the Alamo Dome, and there's a reason why the Spurs got out of the Alamo Dome because it looks stupid, and it's not conducive for that. But the thing that's interesting is the 18,000. They said an 18,000 seat tennis center. Did they put a roof on that? Is it a tennis arena?
I know the only one that there are plenty of tennis arenas, but when I think of like Wimbledon's open, Roland Garros is open. I know the Arthur Ashe for the U.S. Open it's kind of like a football stadium where they have the overhang. They have a roof over the seating, but the
Are you talking about the one
court
in Arthur Ashe? Yeah.
is
It's
the
an
U.S.
outdoor
Open.
retractable roof.
Yes. Yeah, but the actual the actual court itself is open.
That's, you know what the capacity is for that place? I looked that up.
6,000?
23,000.
Oh, 20. Yeah, that's.
Let me ask.
Yeah,
so here's the
that's
deal.
fair.
It says 18,000 seats for the tennis facility, correct?
Yeah. So you're under Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe, out of all the current tennis stadiums, according to Wikipedia, take that for what it's worth, Arthur Ashe is the biggest tennis stadium in the world.
Yeah.
23,000. You know what the second biggest one is? Indian Wells, 16,000. You would be building the second largest tennis stadium in the world. I find that hard to believe in San Diego. If you put a retractable roof on it, it's 18,000. You know what's right in the prime spot of 18,000 seats? The NHL, the NBA. You should put a roof on the stadium. Here's what they should do. If they're going to build this gigantic sports facility, again, I don't know why they're hiding behind tennis and then this multi-purpose event. I'm starting to poke holes in this into thinking they're building a arena and they're building a stadium.
The only thing I can think is you have Midway Rising, which is building an arena for
16,000.
For 16,000, but it could possibly draw the NBA and NHL. It won't, because those are small arenas for those sports. But that has been mentioned with them. Maybe we're not trying to compete with Midway Rising, so we're not going to directly say that it's for this. But yeah, you can easily put two and two together here without directly saying what it's for.
18,000 seats for tennis. That stadium, arena, whatever you want to call it, would be bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 NBA arenas.
What is it? The APT? That's the official tennis league? That is something that if you're going to build that arena, that size stadium, you already have the formations of a plan in place to have a major tournament.
You're not building an 18,000 seat tennis center to not have anything from the ATP.
A major,
100%.
Yeah. The same thing with the NFL. You're not building an 80,000 seat stadium without the inkling that there is something happening, without preliminary talks in action already, that you're not going to build a stadium and then wait for somebody to fill it. You're going to have somebody filling it and build it. And then after it's going up, say, oh, hey, by the way, Chargers are coming back. Enjoy. Right. You're not going to build a stadium and have it sit and rot waiting for somebody to come and fill it. There are plans in place here.
Arthur Ashe is the biggest tennis facility in the world at 23,000.
And it's 5 minutes away from Citi Field.
And the next biggest
LaGuardia,
is the Indian Wells one, which is open air, but it's...
What is Indian Wells? Is that...
Indian Wells is part of the circuit. I remember seeing it's out in the desert. It's out in like Palm Springs, I think.
Oh, it's here in the... Okay.
Yeah, it's in the United States. It's 16,102 it seats. Hard surface. Are you telling me, I'm curious, could you have basketball in that place? Why wouldn't you be able to put a basketball court down? You probably could
at Arthur Ashe. Hockey, no, because Arthur Ashe, if we're going based off of Arthur Ashe, I don't think Arthur Ashe has retractable seating like what you would find in your local high school gym.
If you put in retractable seating,
you could get
hockey in there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it a tennis arena. What do you need to make it out open air for? I mean, to me, that would be the ultimate. And think about this from a business perspective. If you could fill the tenants of the arena tennis stadium and the 80,000-seat multi-purpose stadium all in one area in Chula Vista with the 4 hotels, with the complex. I mean, that is a lot of money coming into their pockets, right? Because they're the ones that are financing this thing, if I have the details correct. And we'll have to look more of that. We got to take a break. Jackie and Juan, we'll get your phone calls when we come back. I feel like they're hiding behind tennis and water polo and just kind of sneaking these other things in on this project. It just seems like that. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Braden Surprenant Show continues. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All guests join us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. All right. I said it in the open today. I had some conscribacies. Shout out Matt Scraby. About this project down at Chula Vista. I have even more questions now knowing what the size of tennis facilities are in the world. If you start to look at the ATP, and not stuff that helps plants and bio, but ATP, WTA, Grand Slam Tennis Tour, tour tennis venues, they have all these facilities that are a part of the tour, right? And you look at the capacity of all of these places. I mean, look at the combined ones. Like, they go to Brazil. They go to the Jockey Club in Brazil, and it's a 7,000-seat stadium.
Like, they have a couple of big tournaments, like the Australian tournament in Melbourne. That's coming up soon. Roland Garros for the French Open, Wimbledon, of course.
They have
those are major venues.
They have the Cincinnati Open as part of the tour.
That's cool.
It's an outdoor stadium, 4,000 people. Capacity.
Yeah, because it's a small tournament.
But still,
you're going to have a bunch of a bunch of 6,000-7,000 seat stadiums for minor tournaments.
The U.S. Open on the other stadium they have in New York, the BJK National Tennis Center.
Billie Jean King, yeah.
Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. You know how many people that seats? 2,500.
Yeah, that's.
I look at all of these capacities for tennis, and you would have the second largest on the tour.
Is that not an ancillary building to Arthur Ashe? Like, isn't the Billie Jean King Tennis Center in the? Yeah, it is. That's what I thought.
It's probably attached.
Yeah, it's in the Arthur Ashe complex.
Arthur Ashe this is current tennis stadiums. It's the biggest one at 23,000. Indian Wells, second biggest, 16,000. The ATP finals that were played in Turin, Italy, 15,000. The Paris Masters, 15,000. The French Open in Paris, France, at Roland Garros. You know how many Roland Garros fills?
Probably 10.
15,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
Australian Open, Rod Laver Arena, 14,000. The project in Chula Vista is calling for an 18,000 seat tennis center. That would be the second largest in the world, at least in the current tennis stadiums where they have the tours. So why would you? And here's the other thing with developments. How many times have we seen like these developments, and a lot of them are land grabs, right? You want the land because where's the money? The money is in the land surrounding the facility. San Diego State's going to make all their money in the surrounding area of Snapdragon Stadium over Snapdragon Stadium, what comes through Snapdragon Stadium. It's like the whole McDonald's thing where McDonald's owns the land. Like they make money on the real estate more than they make the money on the inside of the McDonald's, right? That's the same kind of deal.
Look at what my brain just remembered.
What did your brain remember?
My brain just remembered from the week we went on vacation.
Wow.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has confirmed the league will make a decision on expansion in 2026, bringing the league up to 32 teams.
They've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah.
But then you look at what 18,000 seats would fit in the NBA. It wouldn't be the smallest arena. It actually would be bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
it'd be
8.
mid-tier. Yeah.
It'd be bottom half, but it'd still be relatively in there. I mean, the biggest NBA arena is 20,000. It's the United Center in Chicago. They don't build arenas that size anymore.
You're not getting the Lakers. The Clippers just built a new stadium, so they're not moving.
I don't want to get into the NBA, NHL conversation just quite yet because there's a lot of moving parts. And to me, my biggest argument to get, because everybody knows, like the Ducks are up in Anaheim and they have their affiliate here in the Goals, and they're never going to let anybody come into their market, what they claim is their market. Same, they got the Kings too. And in the NBA, you got two teams in the LA area too that both have a new arenas, whatever. That's not the point. The point of that conversation is like rich people get what they want. Like Stan Kroenke, he forces his way into things. That's why like the Midway Rising project made a lot of sense. Midway Rising project only called for a 16,000 seat arena. You'd be the smallest arena in the NBA. In the NHL, you would be the second smallest. You're better than Winnipeg that seats 15,000. But again, you look at 18,000 seats, that is bigger for NHL arenas than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, because that was one of the sticking points with the Islanders when I mentioned yesterday about their referendum. The NHL wanted them to play in an arena that was minimum 18,000 seats. And that's why they ended up settling on the Barclays Center.
Okay, here's what we don't know. If it's an outdoor tennis court, then you could throw all that away. But again, why would you build an 18,000 seat tennis center?
Unless
in Chula
plans
Vista
can change.
Right. I mean, that's, to me, it's like you're going to build the second largest one in the world, not knowing if you're going to be part of the tour, if you're going to get a major or not. You're going to steal Indian Wells. I mean, that's where it's a little iffy. The other one, and again, they're getting a tennis guy to back it up, right? The other iffy thing was the 80,000 seat stadium that they can continue to throw out there. The other, and on top of that, it was 45,000 seats last year when we talked about this project, as Braden Escondido brought up. I'm just saying, like, it's, to me, I feel like a lot of these projects have fallen flat on their face because it's like, oh, I'm not approving an NFL stadium. We don't have an NFL team. But then when you phrase it as these things, tennis center. Oh, we don't have one of those. That's easy to fill. Oh, a multi-purpose stadium. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, cricket. Nice. Yeah, cool. Like, it's almost like you're convincing the politicians that it's like, oh, it's not the NFL. But meanwhile, you build the stadiums, and now it's like, it's going to take time. They got to negotiate. That's going to happen a little bit. Once you get the shovels in the ground to this project, if you make it that far, it's going to take multiple years to get it going. That gives you a pretty long window to start being like, we're building it. We're ready to go. That's enough time to get your ducks in a row to get an expansion team or to get somebody to move to your facility. And at the very worst, this is the same thing I say all the time. The very least, you now have a venue where you can host major events in San Diego County, which is what you've been lacking forever. You need that anyway. Better concerts, better events. As now somebody that has interacted and has been part of the Holiday Bowl. Could you imagine the bowl game that the Holiday Bowl could put together? Not even that. 80,000 seats? Are you telling me that a brand new 80,000 seat stadium in San Diego is not better than that whatever pile of crap in Miami that's hosting the national championship next Monday? Or the Superdome that gets the Super Bowl every 3 years? Or Orlando that gets like major events for no reason? Because they're in a nice location? I mean, are you kidding me?
And you realize what every single person, as we're breaking this down, you realize what every single person working on this project is saying if they're hearing this, right?
What are they saying?
Brother, will you shut up? It's hard to convince people if you give the game away. Stop it. Just go with the tennis. Just go with the tennis stadium. Stop ruining this.
They'll be fine. WrestleMania. You can host WrestleMania 80,000 seats. Are you telling me that they don't want to come back to San Diego?
I mean, it's not impossible because they've hosted WrestleMania at MetLife. They've hosted it at the Superdome. That is very possible. That is a real likelihood.
Put some respect on that Pop-Tart Bowl. Maybe we could have the Pop-Tart Bowl. We could have the Holiday Bowl and the Pop-Tart Bowl. And the ever-growing landscape of college football. If you have 80,000 seats, you could get those pre-games, those preseason games that they play at Jerry's World, that they play at the Peach Bowl kickoff. Are you kidding me? You're telling me you can't do the Holiday Bowl kickoff and bring two major college football teams here? Why wouldn't the SEC want to come play a school here in San Diego in September when they could be when they could play in the humidity of their own stadium?
Because it means more.
It means more. Jackie, Juan, Kevin, we'll get to you when we come back in the 1 o'clock hour. Braden Surprenant Show continues.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Block out the noise and just swing it. We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club. Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh!
Shot.
Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials. Rocks.
The next group coming up too.
Ow!
I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
I mean, Phillip Rivers.
God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon of got here.
How we playing?
I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan. They can pick up that other one.
Cigar guy.
I trade myself to their. That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there!
Oh, we got a bird, right? Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
But 1. Hey, bud. Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh!
Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks. The next group coming up too. Ow! I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
I mean, Phillip Rivers.
God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado. Falcon of got here.
How we playing?
I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan. They can pick up that other one.
Cigar guy.
I trade myself to their. That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there!
Oh, we got a bird, right? Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
But 1. Hey, bud. Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh!
Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks. The next group coming up too. Ow! I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
I mean, Phillip Rivers.
God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado. Falcon of got here.
How we playing?
I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but.
$1 o'clock. Talking about that complex down in Chula Vista. Jennifer Van Grove does a great job on reporting on that. She probably has a lot of other details on that. As the thing was, and here's the thing that has caught our eye a couple of times. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marquez, the Braden Surprenant Show. Be sure to follow us on social media at @B_SURP. I'm going to be an advocate as much as I can and use my platform as much as I can to get as many sports teams in town as possible. The problem with that is people are like, oh, well, Jack Murphy did it back in the day. Those are way different times back then.
And like
you got to have the money to build this stuff. You got to have the money to have people like own teams and like cut through the red tape and convince NFL league owners and NBA and NHL league owners to get another team here. You have to have forward thinking. You have to have people that want it to happen instead of people that continually tell you no. That's what you need.
And you also don't want to give this guy the ego boost of Braden Surprenant Stadium.
Nobody's doing that. That doesn't make any money. I want to be the commissioner of college football before that anyway. But here's the deal. I just, my entire time in San Diego, all I hear is no all the time because people, you can't be the person that just says it can't be done. It can't not be done. Everything could be done. Every other city seems to be able to figure it out. We, for some reason, can't figure it out. For anything. We can't get anything done in San Diego. We get a lot of things done that lead to waste in San Diego. We're the top 10 largest cities in the United States, and we don't have the best facilities in the United States. I don't understand why. Snapdragon, nice. Petco Park, amazing. Why don't we have an arena that's up to par? Why don't we have a stadium that can fill major events? I'm going to continue that conversation, get the phone calls. But first, it is time to announce today's biggest fan. Has that been updated today?
It has.
Wow, look at Frank. And you know what? What a better place than what we've been talking about the last 3 segments. Congratulations, today's biggest fan, David Alvarado in Chula Vista. David Alvarado in Chula Vista. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you will qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all of the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. David Alvarado in Chula Vista. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. You're on the hook. Okay. It can be done. I always hold out hope that the Chargers will come back. I always hold out hope that the NFL could come back to San Diego. This is a city that needs more sports teams, more professional sports teams. We're a world-class city. And there's a lot of things that we need to change to come back to being a world-class city. But we need to have more than just 2 sports teams. What are we, San Antonio? San Antonio's got the Spurs. And they got minor league hockey. What do we have? Thank God we got San Diego FC now. But it's time for more in San Diego. And you need a forward-thinking group to get the job done. And right now, there's a chance in Chula Vista. Cut out San Diego and the city of San Diego because they can't do anything. And if Chula Vista can get this pulled off down by the Gaylord and build a complex like this, I'm all in favor for it. But there's a lot of interesting things. I think there's some phrasing to try to make this thing work. One of it being a multi-purpose stadium, 80,000 seats. We all know what 80,000 seats fit. It fits one thing. They call it a multi-purpose facility. They're not calling it an NFL stadium because that is going to turn people off, I think. The tennis center, 18,000 people for a tennis center? You're going to build the second largest tennis center in the world for San Diego? 18,000 seats for a tennis center? Doesn't make a lot of sense for a developer that is always trying to get the bare minimum in terms of stadium size because they want to use the real estate for other things that makes it a little bit more lucrative. 18,000 seats for tennis? 18,000 seats with a retractable roof works for a lot of other sports. Arena sports, that's kind of in line with the NBA and the NHL. I don't know anything behind the scenes. I don't know any rumors, anything like that. But I will tell you this. I find it hard to believe that they're going to spend all this money on an 18,000 seat tennis only place. And I think that's a big reason why Chula Vista in this ENA is trying to get a backer for the tennis center. But it's interesting to say the least. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Got a couple of people from Chula Vista that want to weigh in. Jackie called in earlier. Jackie, what's going on?
Oh, hi, Braden. I'm calling about the Steelers situation.
All right, what do you got for us?
Okay, I missed your show. My sister came in from Illinois, so that's the first time I watched the games from 3 years because I didn't have a TV. And my brother was with me. I don't know if you remember, I was a Steeler fan because so he said, yeah, they need a change. They look terrible there. So who do you think there should be their next head coach?
I think they got to go. I think they got to get somebody young, Jackie. I think they got to flip a lot of things. Appreciate the phone call. I think they got to flip some stuff for the Steelers and go young and build from the trenches without, and then go get a young quarterback after the fact on a rookie contract. We talked about that earlier in the show. Let's get out to Kevin in Chula Vista. This is right up Kevin's alley right here. I mean, this is the guy that knows how the city council works down there in Chula Vista and all this other stuff. Kevin, I'm sure you want to weigh in on this project. What's going on?
Yeah, let me get some points of clarification. First of all, back over to Midway Rising, if you noticed a week or so ago, California State Supreme Court upheld the 30-foot height limitation. So I don't know how they're going to build anything down in that area.
Kevin, the update I got on that behind the scenes is the state does not care, even though the Supreme Court said it, and the powers to be, since it's a local rule, sounds like they don't want to enforce, and they might be building it anyway, Kevin. So something to look out for.
Yeah.
As long as the affordable housing reaches a certain level, apparently the state government doesn't care. So they might not have the authority to enforce it anyway. They're trying to do things the right way first, but stay tuned on that one, Kevin. What's your next deal?
No, I was going to say that'll make the attorneys rich. The project with Pangea, that is a Port Commission project. The city of Chula Vista is not. It's not on their property. So they are the ones that are the go-to government folks that are overlooking this. So in as much as Chula Vista's got surrounding interests, this is a Port Commission project. I am surmising the gameplay here from the developers is simply this: start out, build something on the smaller end of things that will get approved by not only the Port Commission, but the Coastal Commission, and going through all the various hoops and all the other things they have to go through, lawsuits, you name it. That's where they're going to start. Now, if you remember the very first of this thing, it was talked about the stadium was going to be like a phase 2 or phase 3 type of situation. And I think that's where they're going to stay with this until they get something down there in their shovels in the ground that's already gone through all of the various approvals. So
remember the first time too, they did say it was phase 2 or phase 3. They said 45,000 seats, and they are advertising it as cricket and lacrosse, and now it's jumped to 80,000. Doesn't that raise a red flag, Kevin?
It's interesting, and I don't know the play on that because the Chargers just signed up a 20-year lease extension with Mr. Kroenke up there in the SoFi building. So if there is going to be an NFL connection, it's going to be interesting to see in the future where that comes from. But, the bottom line is, Braden, I'll leave you with this. Anything that is built in California, and you know this, you've grown up here, so have I. It takes forever, especially when you're dealing with coastal property. And this is why I've never been in favor of putting our facilities in areas which are so highly regulated. I think we need to look at, my favorite spot in San Diego, over at Montgomery Field, that would house a lot of what we're talking about today. I mean, I'm in favor of everything that you're talking about. I see all the benefits, but we keep trying to run this thing up against a brick wall of government and also just the environmental folks that are going to oppose this with lawsuits. It makes it a long, tedious process. Just look at what happened with Petco. You look at what happened with Viejas. It took them forever to get Viejas built. I mean, I was a student when at San Diego State. That's how far back that goes when they started that. And look how long it took them to get that done with all the lawsuits that happened. So that's what we're fighting. And I understand what you're saying. And I don't know what the answer is other than I think we need to look for better sites that are not as prone to the government, rigmarole that we're so used to. That's all I got.
Yeah, Kevin's right about that. I mean, you want to deal with some problems. You want to deal with the Coastal Commission that doesn't want any humans near the coast whatsoever. And we're going to build all the stuff by the coast for them. I mean, they're going to love that. That was like UC Santa Barbara, Frank. UCSB put in all this work to get their field turfed for baseball. Even bought all the turf, started installing it. Coastal Commission shut them down. Can't have turf that close to the coast. Even though the field next door, the soccer field, is turf. That's what you're dealing with people at the Coastal Commission. I mean, people that work in construction know this. I mean, they know more than I do. Try getting permits in the city and do anything in the state of California that's productive. It's just immediately like, nope. To go back to that lease that they signed, they're still on their original lease, 2016 through 2039, the Chargers are. It's a 20-year lease with 2 10-year options for the Chargers. They pay $1 a year. They're not going to be held to that $1 a year if they decided to move. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, what is that, $20? Even for Dean Spanos, you like keep the change, or whoever buys the Chargers at that point in time. So there's that. Chargers get 100% of their tickets, parking, concessions, and sponsorship revenue, but only 18% of big ticket items like naming rights and suite revenue. They'd be able to have their own facility, be able to do all that stuff themselves, make more money that way. You're not making a lot of money in ticket, parking, and concessions, sponsorships. You make money on the suites and the naming rights. Stan Kroenke doesn't want to share that. Anyway, some food for thought. Juan in Oceanside. You're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Juan?
Hey, what's up, Braden? At the risk of getting into, the minutia of city politics, I'd rather not get into it. But I kind of just want to know, like, what team do you think is more likely to come to San Diego? Because Jacksonville broke ground on their new stadium. I don't think Tennessee is going anywhere. Kansas City Chiefs already, have their situation over in Kansas now. Is it 100% the Chargers coming back, or do you think this has to happen through expansion? And do the developers know something that we don't?
Well, I would imagine the developers probably want to find a way to get a tenant in there themselves and maybe be an ownership group of that said tenant. But there's a lot of wealthy people out there that want to buy the Chargers.
Like I said before, you're not going to take on the massive cost of that would be associated with an 80,000 seat stadium in California, especially, and not have an idea in mind. You're not going to build it,
right,
let it rot, and wait for somebody to fill it. You're going to build it with somebody already in mind, or somebody already having a tentative agreement
ready to go. I agree with that. I think it'd be other thing. I keep looking back to Mike Florio's piece a couple of years ago about how the NFL wants to expand to 40 teams, and they can move things around. That the Chargers can break that lease. You telling me Stan Kroenke, who has to share a stadium with somebody that doesn't have to pay anything for it, is not going to just be overjoyed with them potentially leaving if a new ownership group comes in and buys that team? I'm just telling you, that lease is going to be that's not going to be legally binding to an extent. They're just going to be like, yeah, go ahead. It's $1 a year. $1 a year. Yeah, Kroenke would totally help them pack. See you later, dude. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Yeah, this project's interesting. Again, Kevin brings up a good point about being by the coast. I mean, everything wants to be built by the coast, but there's so much more red tape by the coast than anything else. And it's just hard to get stuff done here because we have no vision. We like the red tape. People make money off the red tape. There's a group of people. There's people that make money off the red tape. That's all I'll say about it. And it's sickening in San Diego. But anyway. Let's get out to Derek in La Mesa. Derek, good to see you today. Finally got to pick up his shirt 3 months later.
Hey, brother. You know what? B-Serp, Frank, nice to meet you, Frank. I've met B-Serp before, but thank you, Braden, for holding on to my shirt. It's amazing. Padre Brown. It's awesome.
I'm glad you picked it up.
I want to give yeah, you got it, man. I want to give a quick shout out to a local company. They're not paying me, by the way. So Blenders Eyewear, San Diego peeps. It's a local company started by a surf rat right out of Pacific Beach. They're on Cass Street. And I have a couple of pairs of their glasses, and you know, the lenses got scratched, so I was going to buy them on Amazon Prime, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I go into the Blender store right before I came to pick up my shirt, and they replaced the lenses on my glasses, and I'm waiting for the guy who was gracious to charge me, and he didn't. So shout out Blenders, man. San Diego company, you guys are amazing. I'm super stoked to have new lenses in my glasses. And yeah, the Charger thing, the new stadium. I'm a Portland Breakers guy way back in the day. The voters of Oregon would never vote in to build a stadium for an NFL team, MLB team. It's where we're at. So that's it. Good to see you guys today. Take care. Love you guys. Later.
Appreciate the phone call, Derek. Blender's big NIL supporter of San Diego State Athletics too, which is cool. The thing about this project again is like the private. I kind of agree with Kevin in the sense that like they want to start small and then work their way up because they got to get the approval of the land first. And then they can start building things down there. And then they can, that's why like I don't mind it being in the further stage. But by the time they get to that stadium, who knows what the landscape's going to be in the NFL, who knows the landscape's going to be in the NBA, the NHL, all that stuff, Frank. To me, I see this as a great opportunity for the city of San Diego to build things that will bring people to town and bring events to town. And you know what? If you have an everyday tenant, it's great. But until then, at least it sets you up for success in the future. From a sports standpoint, that's great for us.
Oh, yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. The thing about the NFL and them coming here is, again, that's a building you can't just fill with a random concert or two and it be worth your while. A tennis court, a basketball arena, you can sell that. You can make that work in an off season without a permanent tenant. An 80,000 seat multi-purpose sports venue, that you can't make that work without a tenant, which is why you would say if it's getting built, something's already up. Something is already in the works.
Here's how I see this happening. I'm going to tell you when we come back. This is how I think they can get it back, or how you can make something happen with the NFL and other things. We'll tell you on the other end. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 to the Fan. All right, well, must be dry outside because in the process of going to break.
I told you, don't mess with me, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't mess with me.
Frank punched me in the face. No, I bloody nose. Great. 2 segments to go. And so now I got to like hold this here. And yeah, so that's fun. All right. All right. So this is what I said about the, it's going to look great on YouTube for like social media when I had something great to say too. And that's just going to be me holding my nose like this on YouTube. It's great. Okay, so going to break, Juan asked the question about like a team. Like, well, what type of team do you think you could come in here? And here's the deal with the Chargers situation, right? The 20-year lease everybody's talking about. That's $1 a year. Stan Kroenke's part of that Midway Rising project. I have a feeling that like when the Spanos family eventually tries to sell, because that's the only way they're going to make money is by selling. If they sell, which I think they will, I think it helps the NFL to move the Chargers back to San Diego if this development is going on. Because you already know that Stan Kroenke doesn't want the Chargers in LA. He doesn't want them in their building. He doesn't want to share with them. He doesn't it was kind of like a deal to make it happen. It's a favorable deal with Dean. But the reality is most of the owners are not going to make that same deal with whoever buys the Chargers. And so the timeline of events that I think would happen, this is what I think is going to happen. The Spanos family eventually sells the team. A group, which I have heard of multiple groups here in San Diego that want to buy the Chargers and move them back. I think a group would buy them. I think the NFL would waive any type of relocation fee to get him back to San Diego. And then you have another facility, 80,000 seats, big enough to host the Super Bowl. You can have the draft here. You spread the market out. You appease Kroenke, who has been part of the old guard, if you will. And you get San Diego's market back for the NFL. I think Kroenke's interested in that based on his developments that he's putting in San Diego, or what he wants to be. And I think there's some groups that would make that happen. And when you have a facility ready to go down in Chula Vista, you'd be able to do that. Somebody goes, do we want the Chargers back? I could give a bleep about what the name is of the team. I think it'd be better if it was the Chargers. But I think the NFL is done with the Chargers experiment in LA. And again, as mentioned before, you start looking at the details of this project. The details of the project don't match up what they're selling on the tennis center, on the multi-purpose stadium. The seating capacities and the insurance tell you everything you need to know about this potential deal. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Michael in Lemon Grove, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Michael?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I don't know how confident I'd be that Greinke doesn't want them in the building. You're talking about an extra, 11 events a year when you include preseason that he's able to put into his stadium where he gets all of the non-football revenue from. I mean, Frank just said it's hard to put things in a stadium. And in LA, when you've got the Rose Bowl there as well and the Coliseum, having that backbone of 11, 80,000 person events being held in your building that doesn't cost you $1 to operate and you're getting all the revenue from it, I don't know why Greinke wouldn't want them in his building.
He's not getting all the revenue on it, though. He's not getting all the revenue on it.
He gets all the non-football revenue.
Right, but
So
you're saying, but if the Chargers are a football team and bring in that, he's not getting that revenue.
But the concessions, parking, all of that on
That all
Chargers
goes to the
games.
That all goes to the Chargers. Chargers get 100% of tickets. They get 100% of parking. They get 100% of concessions. They only get 18% of the suites. So he gets a little bit of the suites in that particular category, which is good money. But UCLA is about to play there. And USC has to play there because they have to retrofit the Coliseum for some things in the next 2 years. So he's going to have 2 colleges playing there too. So it's not like he's going to lose out on a ton of money, and that's why he's got a sweetheart deal with the Chargers. So, yeah, he wants them out of there. He doesn't want to compete with the team in his own town. Do you think the Jets want to compete with the Giants?
No,
absolutely not.
And what I said was not that it's hard to fill a stadium. What I said was it's hard to justify having an 80,000 seat stadium sitting there rotting without a permanent tenant than it is to have a 20,000 seat arena that you can put concerts in. You can put all of that in an 80,000 seat stadium too. You can put concerts. You can put, say, as you mentioned during the break, you can put Comic-Con in an 80,000 seat stadium. But the cost of building that 80,000 seat stadium is a lot harder to swallow when you don't have a permanent tenant there than it's a lot easier to swallow that if you build a 20,000 seat arena and don't have a permanent tenant there. The cost is what would change. You don't absolutely need to have a permanent tenant at an arena. You need a permanent tenant for an 80,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, the NFL would be that, could be one of those tenants, right? Now the NFL only gets, what do you get, like 8 home games, 9 home games?
Yeah.
So even then, but that's still in the fall constantly. Plus, they build that, and you get an NFL team, you're getting the draft.
Oh, 100%.
You're getting the draft multiple
kidding
times.
me?
You're getting the Super Bowl. You're getting you could put in a bid for the national championship for college football, all that stuff. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Dexter in Spring Valley wants to weigh in. Dexter, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys. 2 days in a row. Woohoo.
How about that? A little bit of a hot streak there for Dexter.
I know. Yesterday I mentioned that the Chargers owe $650 million plus to the league for the relocation. As far as I've been researching, they have yet to pay a single penny of that. So I'm wondering if, allegedly the team's worth $6 billion, but it's like, how can a team be worth $6 billion when they owe money? So
when they owe $650 million.
Yeah, because they have yet to pay. They haven't, and the Raiders to move to Vegas, their bill is only $300 million, and they're already halfway done paying it.
I do find that interesting too with the whole payment thing. I mean, that could be a deal too when they sell the team. And Dexter brings up a good point. We got to take a break. I appreciate the phone call again, Dexter. That's another thing. Maybe if they decide to move, they waive that fee.
Would
$650 million.
Would San Diego fill 80,000 seats?
Yeah, give me a break, dude.
They absolutely would. Every single Sunday, they will fill an 80,000 seat stadium.
You got a lot of closet Charger fans right now. You got a lot of Charger fans in town still, and you got a lot of people that like the NFL still. It's a bigger city now. Fill 80,000 seats. Plus, at the minimum, you're going to get people to show up here.
You filled Jack Murphy Stadium when it was a small sports town. What makes you think you're not going to build it when you're a big town?
I just find it interesting on the seat requirements for some of these places. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, speaking of events coming to town, Marty Gorsuch, CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, will come on to give us a preview of the Farmers Insurance Open that's happening at the end of January here on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Go ball! Go ball! Oh, off the wall! Hit the weight room!
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
and
one.
nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go, 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 go!
Oh, ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand. Ah.
Down!
Oh, yeah. I got it. Oh. Damn it.
Easy.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry?
You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt?
Okay,
he gets placed in the
now
IL?
Now that the mics come on, you want to say that
I'm just
story
saying,
is
dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, bad and last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice.
Drink Mountain Valley, baby.
I don't know. He is wearing a Panthers hat.
Oh, that's a good one.
What a team guy. Unlike
You know
Matt.
what? Cam Newton.
Selfish. I like Jalen Hurts more. I like Cam Newton. I'll go Jalen
Something
Hurts.
about Flacco, though.
That's why you're batting last.
Something about Flacco, I trust. This gets me going.
Look at that
Oh, look at the
PFP.
PFPs by one.
It's like it's everything that I
Oh,
want.
good oppo shot.
Nicky,
Hey! That away, Nicky! Come on, Ethan! Go, Ethan! Why are you stopping?
Braden running.
This is why we can't win a ball game. We have no awareness on the pass. Like it's just.
Why did he stop?
I expect better from
Everyone
you.
else remember when he's 20 minutes? I didn't want to pass him.
What a team guy. Joel's such a team guy compared
reminds
to
me of Cam
Matt,
Newton
who's
refusing
not
to
a
jump on
not a
that
team
fourth
guy.
man. Go ball! Go ball!
Oh, off the wall! Hit the weight room.
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
And
one.
nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go,
Go.
Oh, ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand.
Ah. Down.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Easy.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry?
You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt?
Okay,
he goes to get placed in
now
the
that
IL?
now that the mics come on, you want to say that
I'm just
story?
saying,
It's
dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, batting last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice.
Drink Mountain Valley, baby.
I don't know. He is wearing a Panthers
Oh,
hat.
that's a good one.
What a team guy. Unlike
You know
Matt.
what? Cam Newton.
Selfish. I like Jalen Hurts more. I like Cam Newton. I'll go Jalen
Something
Hurts.
about Flacco, though.
That's why you're batting last.
Something about Flacco, I trust. This gets me going.
Look at that
Oh,
PFP.
look at the PFPs by one.
It's like it's everything that I
Oh,
want.
good oppo shot.
Nicky,
Hey! That away, Nicky! Come on, Ethan! Go, Ethan! Why are you stopping?
Braden running.
This is why we can't win a ball game. We have no awareness on the pass. Like it's just.
Why did he stop?
I expect better from
Everyone
you.
else remember when he's 20 minutes? I didn't want to pass him.
What a team guy. Joel's such a team guy compared
reminds
to
me of Cam
Matt,
Newton
who's
refusing
not
to
a
jump on
not
that
a team
fourth
guy.
man. Go ball! Go ball!
Oh, off the wall! Hit the weight room.
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
And
one.
nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go! Oh, ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand.
Ah. Down.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Easy.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry?
You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt?
Okay,
he goes to get placed in
now
the
that
IL?
now that the mics come on, you want to say that
I'm just
story?
saying,
It's
dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, batting last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice. To San Diego. If you take me down in sports trivia, you would be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize for this month. 2 tickets to Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, a 2-night stay at Park MGM Las Vegas, and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy solo hits, and more, only in Las Vegas this March 11th through the 21st, and September 18th to the 26th, Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Now joining us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline, David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorney, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. It is the chief executive officer at the Farmers Insurance Open. He is also the CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, oversees a lot of different things for the Century Club of San Diego. But one of the big events is one of the biggest PGA Tour events, which is coming to San Diego, to Torrey Pines at the end of the month. His name is Marty Gorshitz. He joins me on the Braden Surprenant Show, and I think a fellow Don joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Marty, what's going on?
Go Dons, original Dons.
Original
Let's make sure
Dons.
It's original Dons.
That's right. One of the uni Dons, like my mom and some other people that I know growing up. So good to have a Dons
You don't
alumni.
need to date me. Let's not date anybody. We'll just go with original.
The original Dons. Well, fellow Don, love joining us on the show. Trying to get Barry Zito on today, also a Don, but we're working on that in just a little bit. We got to talk about the big events that you guys put on as part of the Century Club. The preview of the Farmers Insurance Open. A lot of other questions I want to get to on that as well. But for a lot of people that haven't been to the Farmers Insurance Open or might be new to it, what are some of the fun, cool events that you guys have planned at this year's Farmers Insurance Open?
That's a great question. We're always each year trying to find that right balance of bringing back the really popular things. The event only happens once a year. People have an experience and look forward to re-experiencing some of those things. I always say it's kind of like a great restaurant you only go to once in a while. You don't want to flip the menu. If somebody had a great meal, they look forward to it just the same. We want to interject new things, and especially folks if they haven't been here, maybe if they're new to golf or they don't consider themselves yet a golf fan, we want to make sure there's stuff for them. So lean in on the food and beverage, add in some new products, make sure there's a great variety there, some really cool things to experience for all different kind of types of palates. Add in some new things, both experientially, whether it be some of the clubs and lounges and bars, ocean-facing things, to activations around golf or just other fun things to see and do. And then obviously always looking at how we set up the hospitality, but even general fan seating areas around golf to watch some of the great holes, to again bring the ocean views into play. So always kind of tinkering with that balance of adding some new, exciting, fun things and kind of sticking with your great stable of stuff people look forward to year over year.
Calendar for the Farmers Insurance Open, again, is going back to the traditional Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as we see on the tour a lot. I know that got changed a little bit to try to accommodate some conference football games in the NFL. I know it's a lot with TV. What worked for you guys in the format that you had tried for the last couple of years? And what are you excited about going back to the traditional Thursday to Sunday format for this tournament?
Yeah, they both have, a little bit of a difference, right? And it really comes down to, are you playing on Wednesday or are you finishing on a Sunday? The extra weekday in this new day and age with a lot of work from home or work from the road or check in, and our hours being kind of play from 9 until about 3:30 or 4, people really did enjoy the fact they could come out here, skip work or come network at the course or bring a client or escape while the kids were in school and come take in the day and still get home and not disrupt their evening. It's not like a night event during the week, which is sometimes a little more disruptive for everybody. So that actually was very popular to have that extra weekday. Some folks on Sunday, it's a little bit more of a sit at home and take it easy to prepare for the week. Just the same, anytime you add a weekend in, it really opens up for folks because their responsibilities work-wise are lesser. You don't have to think about that. You can kind of wake up and control your destiny, control your day. The phone's not ringing. You're not getting emails. You can bring the family out. You can escape with some buddies. So I think a lot of the general fan attendance really gets a boost when you switch over to the Sunday. And we're seeing that already. Ticket sales are fantastic. A lot of excitement around that. And, some of the logistical things may get a little bit easier on a weekend as well. You just don't have the same sort of traffic and other things to consider. So both ways, it works. Both have their ups, but we're excited to swing back to the format this year and dive back into it.
We're talking with Marty Gorsuch, who is the CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, which is the host organizer for the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. That's coming up at the end of the month. Always a big event on the PGA Tour. Always have a pretty good list of players coming in, and it sounds like we have had an announcement on some other big players coming to the field with a local product announcing his return to the field. I think as early as today. What can you tell us about the field? I mean, obviously with the PGA and Live Golf, and golfers are all over the place, Farmers Insurance Open always has a really good field for golf fans and non-golf fans to go check out over those 4 days.
Yeah, we are blessed to have Torrey Pines here. It's different than other sports where you maybe have an iconic stadium or arena, but the field of play is still the same. Unique thing in golf is these courses are also different. And with these athletes being competitors, the best of the best want to win at the best places. So you win a tournament and you get a trophy and you put it on your shelf. There's bragging rights that come with one from Torrey Pines because it means you really slayed the beast. You really went to a place that's iconic and known. You look at the winners of the past, obviously lots of Tiger, but as you go down the list with the John Rahms and dual time winners with like Brandt Snedeker, Jason Day, it's a place where if you can win here, you really are at the top of your game. And so it draws a lot of the best players. And we're off with a great field already this year. There's guys still have 10 days to put their name in, but to your point, just today, Xander Shopley, local product, went to SDSU. He's won majors. He's won gold medals. He's done a lot of great things. He's going to be back here with us. Some big news yesterday as there was a door opened for some of these live players, the top live players, to come back for a short window of time. And Brooks Koepka taking that opportunity and sliding over, and he's going to debut back with the PG Tour after a 4-year absence by starting the season at Torrey Pines. So we'll be excited to welcome him back. He's a 5-time major winner, 9-time tour winner. So big resume with him. And again, just always looking at ways to put the best golfers out here to really put on a show for people. Again, both for the diehard fan who knows these people like household names, but even somebody who's a casual golf fan or it's their first time. It's still cool to be out there seeing the best of the best compete.
We're talking with Marty Gorsuch, again, CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, host organizer for the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines, which will be coming up January 29th through the weekend of the Pro Bowl. So that's a nice little lead up for the NFL in between the last championship week and the Super Bowl. Always a great time for the Farmers Insurance Open to happen. At the end of this year, things change a little bit. I know there's some rumors circling about the early season swing through California. You have remained optimistic about it. It's obviously a big tournament for us here in San Diego, but I know you have to go through some negotiations on that. Why are you so optimistic about, and I understand why with it being in here at Torrey Pines, but tell us about why San Diegans should be confident in the fact that the Farmers Insurance Open or whatever the golf tournament's new sponsor is next year will be coming to Torrey Pines for year to come.
Well, a lot of the discussion is stemming from some new leadership that came over from the NFL to help take some of the spots in golf and at the PGA Tour to really continue to grow the brand. And a key part of that is making it more enticing to fans, making people want to tune in and watch. And they're asking questions, and people want to make sure that they are watching the best week to week when they tune in and ensuring that those big names play. They want to watch them play at big places. They want them to play in good markets with well-run events, and really want, especially that upper tier of the tour, the one that's on national television on a weekly basis, to really be the best we can offer. And in doing that, they're going to, if they need to, break it to fix it. They're going to really look at all things, and every topic's on the table. And so you heard some expressions about no tournament is safe. That sounded more ominous. There's ways for tournaments to continue, but maybe not be in this most upper tier. But as they think about really what the uppermost crust of the PGA Tour will be, again, great markets, well-operated events, great cities, weather that allows the events to happen and not be problematic and challenging. And very importantly, these special places, the people want to tune in and watch. And the history around Torrey Pines, the reputation here, the winners we've had, 2-time U.S. Open course, it just belongs not only in that discussion, but at the top of that discussion. Beyond that, having the great market we have, having the long history we have, the affinity a lot of these players have for this place, it just leaves me bullish that if that's really what we're working towards as a league, we not only belong in the conversation, but I think as the conversation narrows down, we're very much in the mix.
Marty, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it. Before you go, how can people get tickets if they haven't already, and people that want to attend, what kind of different opportunities and experiences can they still purchase before the Farmers Insurance Open?
Yep, absolutely. The website, farmersinsuranceopen.com. It's very intuitive. It'll take you through the options, a grounds ticket, which already comes with a lot of great amenities. You can step that up to upgraded options, an Ultra Pass, or all the way up to full hospitality in our Canyon Club. All of the add-ons with that and inclusive options are all in there. A lot of information, especially for first timers. We've got a great rideshare program, makes it very easy for drop off and waiting for you on pickup to get you out of here. Information on parking, food, drink, all those things that we all think about. I think everybody says, do I want to go hang out up on the cliffs of Torrey Pines and stare at the ocean and people watch and network and have a big day? That answer is yes. It's always those other little things that start to creep into our mind. We do our best to not only work around those, actually enhance those things. So go to the website, check it out. We do increase prices next Monday. So I'd encourage folks to go take a look at it now. We've already had a few areas begin to sell out. So it's a great time to plan ahead and get your tickets.
Marty, appreciate the time. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you at Torrey.
Sounds great. See you at Torrey.
Marty Gorsuch, the CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, which hosts the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show, joining us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. A fellow Don. Love to see it.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's right. We're everywhere. They should start calling us the Don's Mafia at this point in time.
Don't make it sound ominous. Jeez.
I'm more and more intrigued with this stadium thing down in Chula Vista the more I think about it. I start to look at some of the details in this deal.
Sounding like we may need to reach out to Jennifer Van Grove again.
Yeah, Jennifer does a great job with her reporting on stuff. I find it, but I don't know. I don't want to make it like a conspiracy, but a lot of the things in the contracts don't make sense. A lot of the, people talking about like the insurance that they have already bought on it says NFL on it. We've seen like some of the reports on some people that have put some stuff on social media that's going on out there. And, a lot of the reporters in town put the stuff that they get physically told by these people in charge. But I find the 18,000 seat tennis center, it's a lot of seats for a place that you could get on the ATP tour for way less.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I'll have to go back and look. I remember it being like around 50,000 for the multi-purpose stadium. But I have to go look back at February of 2024 when we first saw this project surface and go back and think about why is it now listed as 80,000? We already talked about it. Major tennis is 16 and less.
They need a bigger they need a bigger spot for the horses.
For the water polo. Yeah, there you go. They doubled the thing in 2 years on the plans.
That's a lot of horses.
I'm just saying. 80,000 seats for cricket. Lacrosse. It's a lot. People are DMing me about that thing. I'm dying with the water polo with the horses.
As you saw in the picture, if you didn't see the picture, go onto our YouTube stream to take a look at it.
Adam Paul must have missed the time when we talked about stadium sizes for tennis. Arthur Ashe is the biggest in the world at 23,000. The second biggest in the world is 16,000. You'd be building the second largest tennis facility in the world at 18,000 seats. You could get a major tennis event for less than that. And every developer in San Diego that we've seen usually tries to get the bare minimum of seats for a facility in order to build it. I'm just the guy asking questions. And if there's people that are listening involved with the development, put a roof on that multi-purpose facility and host major events.
We're not saying
put a retractable roof on the 18,000 seat stadium, because guess what you have now? An arena.
We're not saying bigger isn't better. We're just saying that
nobody ever does that.
That we're going above and beyond.
It is odd. We'll talk more about that as the news progresses. Gwen and Chris coming up next. Setting us over Sports Station 97.3 The Fan.